front, rebound, scores! Evan Oakley, here's Farmer on a breakaway, Farmer scores! Short-handed break, Benzine in on Zevnik, oh, and a great left pad save there, shot deflected, they score! Colin Stubbs short-handed!
You're listening to Wildcats Hockey, presented by Armored Roofing on the Wildcats Broadcast Network.
A very good evening to you from the Nitec Center in North Richland Hills, Texas, where we are set for what is sure to be a great weekend of hockey between your Wichita Falls Wildcats and the Lone Star Brahmas. It's a battle of two of the South Division's best teams here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area this weekend, and the Wildcats are going to be hoping that they are coming out on the winning side of this exchange. These two teams are 1-0 against one another through the first two games of the 8-game season series between the two teams. They split a two-game set back at the K. Yeager Coliseum back at the beginning of October. The Wildcats picking up an exciting 3-2 overtime victory on Friday, October the 3rd, as Nick Farmer picked up the game-winning tally in overtime before they were dealt a handy 5-1 loss the next night against the same Lone Star Brahmas squad. And it's a Lone Star team that is just 1 point ahead of the Wildcats as we enter the weekend's action. Let's take a look at where we stand in the South Division as we get going on a full slate of action here in the North American Hockey League as we tick our way towards the two-thirds mark of this 60-game season. Topeka's still leading the South Division with 63 points, a record of 39-3. They are 8 points ahead of second-place Lone Star, who come into tonight's action with a record of 26-9-3 with 55 points and a .724 win percentage. Just behind them, hot on their heels, are your Wildcats, 27-11-0, 54 points. And 54 points, 1 point back of the Lone Star Brahmas are the Wildcats as those two battle it out for the top two spots in the South Division, who will earn those byes into the division semifinals. Rounding out the rest of the South Division with a win last night, Corpus Christi now in fourth with 47 points. Wenatchee Wild hot on their heels, just 6 points behind them in fifth place, while battling out for the sixth and final playoff spot are the Amarillo Bees on 35 points with a record of 16-21-3. Amarillo Bulls, that is, with the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees just behind them on 34 points. Odessa bringing up the rear with 24 points and a 9-27-6 mark. Well, the Wildcats in their last time out, they split with the Corpus Christi Ice Rays, and it was an exciting 5-4 win on Thursday evening back at the KYC as the Wildcats ended an 8-game homestand. They came up with 2 early goals. It looked like the Wildcats might run away with the contest, as they had back in the beginning of December when those two teams met for the first time at the KYC, but they were given a good hard battle by the Ice Rays. They managed to hold on for a 5-4 win on Thursday night before they were dumped by the same score the next night on the wrong end of that result on Friday evening as Corpus Christi salvaged out the split on the weekend. Credit to the Ice Rays. They have now won 3 of their last 4 road games. But for the Wildcats, it was a disappointing performance on Friday evening, and it was one that saw the Wildcats held to just 12 shots on goal in the first 2 periods of play. They did post up 10 in the third, but the 26 shots on goal was a full 9 shots on goal, fewer than the Wildcats are averaging on the year. The Wildcats leading the North American Hockey League in average shots on goal per game, 35.2 shots on goal for the Wildcats on average. More on that as we go forward. But the real issue for the Wildcats was that they went 0 for 2 on the penalty kill, and over their last 2 games, they are just 2 for 6 on the PK. They're going to be going against the Brahmas penalty kill this weekend. That is 9th in the North American Hockey League. 20.7% are the Brahmas on the power play. That is a matchup to watch out for. On the other end of the ice, the Brahmas were off last weekend. In their last action, they beat Amarillo 4-1 here at the Nitec Center in North Richland Hills back on January the 18th in a Martin Luther King Jr. Day matinee. They took a 2-1 lead through the first 2 periods of action. And sprinted away with a pair of shorthanded goals in the third period to bury Amarillo and come away with a win. And it continued a theme of dominance on this ice sheet for the Brahmas. On the year, they are 20-0-1 in this building. Make that 19-0-1 in this building. And they have yet to pick up a regulation loss. The one blemish on that record is an overtime loss to the Wenatchee Wild back on January the 10th. A 4-3 overtime loss ended the perfect mark. But still, the Brahmas very strong on their home ice surface. They're averaging 4.23 goals per game at home as opposed to 2.6 on the road. 93 goals for at home, 42 goals for in 16 road games for the Brahmas. It's easy to see that they're a much stronger team at home, but part of the reason for that is their commitment to playing hard, physical hockey, being opportunistic. They'll get ahead early, they'll suffocate the life out of the game, they'll be patient, and then in the third period, they'll blow by you. Amarillo, or rather Lone Star, has been making their wins behind scoring first and then holding on to the lead until they can be advantageous and opportunistic to pick up a insurance tally or 2 or 3 or 4 in the third period. Just to give you some numbers on that, the Brahmas are scoring 58 goals in the third period as opposed to just 38 in the first and 38 in the second. It all goes to what I was saying earlier. Getting ahead and staying ahead will be the keys to success for both teams this weekend, by the way. Lone Star 22-2-3 when scoring first. The Wildcats are 21-0. But there's something else to consider about this weekend and about this Lone Star Brahmas squad. I mentioned their tendency to be opportunistic, but what that all really means is the fact that they are not posting a lot of shots on goal per game. In fact, they average the 20th out of 24 in shots on goal per game with 26.7 efforts on net per game. They have the third fewest shots on goal in the North American Hockey League, but their shot percentage of 13.2% is tops in the league. They're getting a lot of high quality looks. They're getting a lot of great chances in juicy scoring areas, and that's been the key to the success, that the Wildcats are going to pick up points in a very difficult place to do so this weekend. They're going to have to eliminate juicy areas, juicy rebounds, and loose pucks in fighting areas like the slot, like the bottoms of the circles, and they're also going to have to make sure they play airtight in their defensive zone. The Wildcats have been better on the defensive end, at least 5-on-5 over the last few games, and it had been a point of emphasis heading into the last few weeks. But for the Wildcats, what they really need to improve on, as I mentioned, is the penalty kill. They're 8 for 10 on the PK against Lone Star this year. That's 80%. Okay, not great, but here's where they've really struggled. In addition to that 2 for 6 mark on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill last weekend, the Wildcats on the road on the penalty kill are 19th out of 24 teams. They have killed off just 42 of 54 opposing power plays while on the road. That is just 77.8%, which, as I mentioned, 19th in the league. That regard, the Wildcats are going to have to play a penalty-free game, and if they do go shorthanded, they're going to have to make sure that they are quick about getting that puck all the way down the ice. And I mentioned the penalties and the power plays and the penalty kills. Keep in mind, this is a Lone Star Brahmas team that has no issues chirping and getting under your skin, trying to draw penalties in fashions that don't necessarily get noticed by the officials. Get under your skin, they get you agitated, and they get you in the penalty box, and that is where they'll do their damage. The power play at home, 22.4%, 24 power play goals on 107 opportunities. But something to note, the Brahmas just 5 for their last 40 over the last 10 games on the power play. All 5 of those power play tallies came against the Odessa Jackalopes, who are way down there in the penalty kill numbers in the North American Hockey League. So something to keep an eye on this weekend, that is for sure. Let's take a look at the starting lineups now, brought to you by Pelican's Restaurant. We'll start with the Lone Star Brahmas, and we'll start with the forwards. Up top on the left wing, it'll be Roman Uchin, 6'2", 205 pounds, out of Chicago, Illinois. Uchin on the year and has played in 34 games, has 24 points on 8 goals and 16 assists. Centering will be Cody Wickline, a Dallas native, 6 foot, 175, wearing number 16. Wickline, 20 points on the year and a plus 12 on 6 goals and 14 assists. On the right wing, number 23, AJ Vanderbeck out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, recently committed to his hometown school of Colorado College. 5'11", 180 pounds for AJ Vanderbeck. He's got 21 points on 13 goals and 8 assists in 36 games. Starting on defense for the Brahmas, Alexei Solovyev will be on the left side of the blue line. 6'2", 200 pounds out of Moscow, Russia. 32 games played for Solovyev, 24 points on 7 goals and 17 assists. Pairing with him will be number 55, Johan Steen out of Stockholm, Sweden. 6'2", 200 pounds for number 55, Steen. 36 games played for the Swede, 2 goals and 11 assists for 13 points and a plus 12 mark. And starting in net, TJ Black, committed to Union College. Black, 5'9", 160 pounds, out of Chicago, Illinois, 15-5-2 on the year with a 191 goals against average and a 916 save percentage. Head coach of the Brahmas is Dan Wildfong. Assistant coach is Jeff Potter. Now let's get to the starting lineup for your Wichita Falls Wildcats. On the left wing for Wichita Falls, it'll be number 18, Austin Bolio. He broke out in a big way last weekend, posted 3 points against the Ice Rays on Thursday, but still, the fact remains he has been in a bit of a dry spell recently, just points in one of his last 7. On the year, he's played in all 38 games played. For the Coral Springs, Florida native, he's got 15 goals and 19 assists for 34 points. Bolio stands at 5'9", 170 pounds, and is committed to the University of Alabama, Huntsville. Centering will be Tommy Apap, 6'2", 180 pounds, out of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, the 96th birth year, whereas number 11 has played in 36 games played thus far for the Cats. 6 goals, he picked up one last Friday in that 5-4 loss. 19 assists for 24 points for young Mr. Apap, who will be one of 5 Wildcats heading to the Top Prospects tournament. More on that as the night progresses. On the right wing, it's Eric Yeager, the Air Force Academy commit, stands at 6 foot, 175 pounds, donning number 26. Yeager has 18 points on the year on 6 goals and 12 assists in 35 games played. On the blue line for Wichita Falls, it's the top pairing, no surprise there. Matt Cook on the left side, 6'1", 195 pounds, out of Hastings, Minnesota. The Air Force Academy commit is tied the Wildcat franchise record for most points in a single season by a defenseman. He's got 37 points on the year on 4 goals and 33 assists. One more would break Sam Piazza's record from last year. Pairing with him will be Cam Knight out of North Reading, Massachusetts. Knight stands at 6'1", 190 pounds. He's committed to Alabama Huntsville for next year. Until then, he's playing for the Wildcats, and he's done quite well for a first-year defenseman. 27 points on 7 goals and 20 assists in 38 games played. And getting the start in net tonight, David Zevnik did not have his best outing last Friday night, was relieved in the middle of the second period, looking for a bounce-back performance here this evening. The Lakeville, Minnesota native stands at 5'11", 160 pounds. The 94 birth year is 11-5-0 with a 2.80 goals against average and a 900 save percentage. Wildcats head coach is John LaFontaine in his first season. Assistant coach is Chris Saransky in his second campaign. Those are the starting lineups brought to you by Pelican's Restaurant, located at 2301 Midwestern Parkway, across from Midwestern State University. Offering some of the choicest beef, freshest fish, and the area's best wine list. Visit Pelican's Restaurant the next time you're in the Falls for fine dining in a family-friendly atmosphere. That'll do it for us here on the pregame show. We'll step aside when we come back. We'll have puck drop between the Wildcats and the Lone Star Brahmas here in North Richland Hills. First of 2 games set to get underway just after this, as Wildcats hockey presented by Armored Roofing will roll on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. From the NITEC Center in North Richland Hills, where we are just about set for Wildcats hockey, presented by Armored Roofing. Hello, welcome to the broadcast. Ben Horner with you, Wildcats fans. So pleased you've decided to make us a part of your Friday evening here on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Wildcats wearing their road black sweaters, skating from left to right across your screen. That's Q to P across your keyboard if you're joining us online via the YouTube stream. The Brahmas wearing their home whites with the purple shoulder plates and trimmings. Coming back the other way, right to left, that's P to Q across your keyboard. TJ Black is in the net to our right. David Zebnik is in the net to our left. Black on the air, 15-5-2, a 1.91 goals against average, a .916 save percentage, 2 shutouts on the air, and at home he's been practically untouchable. 14 games played in this building, 11-1-1 with a 1.90 goals against and a .900 save percentage. Don't let that low save percentage fool you. All it means is that they are not allowing too many shots on goal, so each one gets past the goaltender is worth a little bit more in that category. Against the Wildcats this year, Black, 1-0-0 with a 1.00 goals against average. He got the win in that 5-1 win for the Brahmas back on October the 4th, making 36 saves on 37 shots on goal. David Zebnik, for his part, 11-5-0 with a 2.80 goals against and a .900 save percentage. Against the Brahmas this year, 0-1-0 with a 4.50 goals against and an .842 save percentage. Zebnik didn't make it through the second period in last Friday's contest against the Ice Rays, but he's got a tendency to bounce back after those performances. Let's see if he can do it tonight. It'll be APAP going to take the draw against Wickline. Bringing them together is Greco, the referee, and the puck is down. We are underway in one of the biggest series to date in the season, as right away the Wildcats control in the first period, brought to you by American Classified. APAP with a head full of steam can't split the D, so Love you have the first to it here, trying to glass it out. Cook not able to hold the zone. The Wildcats regain possession, regain the zone, but lose out once more, and we'll get a quick whistle here. Just 18 seconds into the opening frame. Out of play. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com, the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Joshua Greco, tonight's referee with the orange armbands, and Michael Anderson and Scott McNally handling the icings and offsides along the blue line and end line. Staub out here for his first shift of the night, out there with Albrecht and Lazarus. Albrecht returning from a 2-game suspension for a hit that he made against the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees. As we're going to get a quick change here by the Brahmas very late. Will Greco let him do it? No, he will not, and immediately Wild Fong is irate. Well, this did not take long at all already. We're getting a little bit of tension as teams are getting into those mind games, and looking across the way, Chris Saransky has a big smile on his face as he's gotten under the skin of Wild Fong, at least initially. Off the face-off, this is Ludwig Larson trying to skip this one in deep. Upped over the stick of Cam Knight. Knight with a nice play there. Loses out as he tried to work it up the wall to Lazarus. Lazarus quick on it here, ramps it up the glass, and skips it down the ice. Albrecht looking to put his man Sanderson under some pressure. Sanderson takes it behind the cage of Black and looks to motor forward. Nice back check there by Albrecht to free this one up. Lands on the stick of Cam Knight. He'll wheel back into his own zone, find some space for Albrecht to move into. Albrecht into the there. First to it there was Sanderson, tries to clear it around. Lazarus couldn't hold his own as this one is kicking around to the neutral zone. Stepping forward, here's Vidmar trying to get around Townsend. Wasn't able to do so, so we'll take it behind the net. Here's Vidmar battling there with Azanaro. Azanaro, big man, upended shot, blocked down in front. Rebound is loose, and it's one-handed along, and Lazarus will play it off the glass and down. 18:45 remaining in the first. I think the shot came from Vidmar's stick. That's not a guy you want to let get a good sight at goal too often. He's tied for the league lead with 24. This one chipped along here by Egan, looking to race through it here. The Brahmas chipped along into the backhand effort, and unable to pull the trigger there was Storm Wahlberg out of California. Into the corner it goes, played towards the middle of the ice. Falconer plays this one off the glass. Giles will look to settle this one. Under some pressure there from Farmer, but he worked it along. Ramped in there by Wahlberg. First back to it here will be Jake Townsend. He'll rim it around the boards. Reisinger looks to play this one along. Finds Farmer. Farmer hooks it up for Falconer. Here's Falconer. Partial 2-on-1. Falconer loading shot. Save. Rebound. And Black will cover. 18:04 remaining in the first. They're coming together in the corner after Black makes the save. A 2-on-1 after Alex Carl blew a tire at the blue line. That allowed Farmer and Falconer to skate in. Falconer pulled the trigger on the toe drag and let one goal go. Black spilled it but covered the rebound as Farmer was skating by. So a chance for each team early. Less than 2 minutes to go, or less than 2 minutes gone here. And a good pace to this one so far. Expecting a breakneck pace to this one, at least in the early goings before we get the first goal. Shot to the right of Black. Subri out there with Oakley and Whitfiak. Draw against Cody Wickline. One here by Wickline. He'll play this one off the glass. Now look out. Springing forward. Here's Roman Uchin. Uchin with a step shot. Save fought off there by Zebnik. Loose behind the cage. Shoveled along there by Baum. He was hoping for Oakley. Oakley with some trouble with it. Trying to dig it free. Oakley left it behind. Puck sitting loose here. As now it's going to be picked up once more by Evan Oakley. Can't fight through the check and get it to the blue line. Serve back down below. Wickline puts Kosmeski under pressure, but Kosmeski works this one along. Oakley fought through the check and corrals. We'll get to the red line and play it in deep. Black alert to this one here. Leaves this one behind his cage. Trying to hack it along there was Hayden Hansen. Hansen got it along to Giles. Giles up the wall to a teammate there. Flipped into the neutral zone. Townsend gloves this down and starts to skate forward. Led along by Townsend here. Open for Litviak. It was chipped away from him, and Litviak forces it in deep and comes to the bench for a change. 3 minutes play, ticking that way towards 3 minutes gone in the first period between the Brahmas and the Wildcats. No score just yet. They have yet to post a shot on goal for the Wildcats, which is kind of funny. This one sent all the way down the ice. No icing here. This is going to be some trouble for the Wildcats, but Townsend won that race. Now Boyle looks to start it forward. Here's Apap gaining the zone, taking it wide. Apap, top of the circle, shot saved there by Black. Behind the net, Boyle ridden off it. Yeager up to the point. Azanaro quickly along. Townsend slap shot deflected, scores! Townsend on a blast from the blue line. Might have been tipped in front. Just over 3 minutes played, and the Wildcats take the lead. Townsend got some space after Azanaro swept it along quickly. Might have been tipped in front. It beat Black, and the Wildcats lead 1-0. They're going to give it as Townsend from 20. That should be 26, not 28, on the secondary assist. Back to play here as Azanaro and Yeager are going to get the assists on that one. The Wildcats take a 1-0 lead here, as flipping this one in deep was Alex Carl. Carl wasn't able to beat this puck back there. Cook sweeps this one along. Funny bounce off a glass support. The Wildcats poke it free. Here's Staub. Could be a 2-on-1. Staub. Lazarus in the middle. Over for Lazarus. And he hit the post as it was just off the glove of TJ Black. 16:22 remaining in the first. It was almost 2-0 Wildcats after a broken play by Staub allowed him to race forward, fed it to the middle for Lazarus, and he just couldn't get it up high enough. But the Wildcats still hold a 1-0 lead on Jake Townsend's 9th goal of the year. That is a new career high for Jake, and that ties a career high in points as well, set last year. Face off to the left of Black. Farmer will take the draw here. Kosmeski and Baum, the D-man for the Wildcats. His first of this one off the face-off is Giles. Playing off the glass. Farmer couldn't hold his own here. Chip past Kosmeski. Rushing along is Stomberg there, but it's taken away from him by an alert. David Zebnik hooked along here. Farmer fought through the check after a pass from Reisinger was in his skates. Farmer chips this one towards the net. Black will force it away. Here is Falconer. Pressed into the wall there. Can't pick up the loose puck as Carroll skates this one along as well. Hacked free there by Walrab, as chasing it down the ice is Baum. No icing here. Egan puts Baum under some pressure. Baum rolls this one along as Farmer will give chase into the corner. Baum took it away. Now Reisinger ramps this one out to the neutral zone for Sebastian Vidmar to claim. Vidmar played in deep. First to it here is Kosmeski for the Wildcats. Nice job to win that battle. Kosmeski along for Reisinger. Under some pressure was Reisinger. Couldn't clear. Solovyev. Now it's Vidmar on his backhand. Played towards the circle there. Caroming around. It's loose on the near side half wall. Farmer hacking at Larson there. Dug free. The Wildcats have it in the form of Reisinger. His pass along to Litviak. Litviak looking for reinforcements here. He'll turn it over to his compatriot Vidmar. Poked away from him though by Litviak on a great back check, but the Wildcats can't clear the zone. Here's Steen looking to feed towards the middle there. Forced towards the corner. Steen takes it all the way around. Up to the point. Solovyev towards the net and a glove save by Zevnik. 15:05 remaining in the first. That's the Brahmas' first shot on goal. As the Wildcats hold a 1-0 lead on Jake Townsend's goal. Getting his first career point in the North American Hockey League was Austin Azanaro. And I apologize to the Azanaro family. I realized I was butchering his name all last weekend. Trust me, Austin gave me a little tongue lashing on the way to the rink today, so hopefully I'll get it right the rest of the way forward. Either way, he gets his first career point in his third career game after being summoned up from the Missoula Maulers of the Western States League. Matt Cook off the faceoff as the Wildcats are looking to break out. in his own zone, now at the blue line, skates around Vanderbeek. Here's Cook on a good skate here through the neutral zone. Got it in deep, the Wildcats lost out, however, chipped along here as Cook will field it back at the red line. Cook along for Litviak. Litviak sweeps this one in deep. Around the glass it goes. Black steps out of his cage there. Left along there for a teammate. That was Carl. Wildcats hold his own. Litviak towards the front of the net. Clear, not out. Here is Cook. Holding shot. Scores! Cook from the top of the circle. 2-0 Cats. Just 5.5 minutes in. 2 goals from the blue line in the first 5.5 minutes from the Wildcats, and that is a new record for points in a single season by a Wildcats defenseman. On the goal is Matt Cook. So the Wildcats got the first goal, and now they got the second goal. However, a lot of hockey left to play here. This is a Lone Star team that came back from a 3-0 deficit against Wenatchee at the end of one period a while back. However, this is going to be icing against the Brahmas. As they say, they were not able to get down there. Hang on a sec. No, they're going to say that was an inadvertent whistle on the icing. So the Wildcats will have a defensive zone draw to deal with. 14:24 remaining in the first. The Wildcats are leading 2-0 here over the Lone Star Brahmas, a team that does not trail at home very often. Face off to the right of Zevnik, one back to the point. Giles moved it along to a teammate there. Hansen couldn't get this one down the wall. Kicked away here by Azanaro. Azanaro fights through it. It's chipped back down low. Townsend picks this one up. Bumped it along for Boyo. Boyo, pass to the middle of the ice for Yeager. Big collision behind the play. We move on. Yeager looks to drop pass. Azanaro shot. Glove save there by Black, as he was hoping for some traffic in front. A decent look there, but seeing it cleanly was Black on the effort from Azanaro, who has gotten his first career point, looking for his first career goal. 2-0, the Wildcats leading on goals from Townsend and Cook. 14:04 remaining in the first period here in the NYTEX Center. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network, as the draw will come in the Cats' offensive zone to the left of TJ Black. For the Wildcats here, wasn't able to win it, so he tries to jostle it towards the corner. Played up the wall. Knight forces it back down low. Couldn't find a teammate here as the Wildcats are able to keep play on. Lazarus swung it down low. That will work its way off to the far side for Albrecht. Has now stopped. Plays behind the net for Lazarus. Lazarus hooked towards the middle there. Nice stick by TJ Black in his crease to force this one away. Cook wasn't able to hold this one in. Feels the pressure coming. He'll swat it back in deep as the Wildcats tag up on a delayed offside. Albrecht down on the forecheck, wasn't able to free this one up. Esteen plays it up ahead. Lazarus intercepts in the neutral zone here. Swept along to the near side wall where Colin Staub takes and softly lays back to Shane Kosmeski. Kosmeski led it along. He was hoping for Staub. Intercepted here by Hogan Davidson. Wines fires and a glove save there on a big slap shot from the one-time Wildcat Hogan Davidson as Zevnik stonewalls his former teammate. 13:20 remaining in the first as the Wildcats lead 2-0. Goals from Jake Townsend, his 9th, and Cook, his 5th, as that also stands as a new single-season record for points by a Wildcats defenseman. 38 for Matt Cook. That surpasses Sam Piazza's mark of 37 points on 11 goals and 26 assists. So the record was nice while it lasted for Big Sam, the captain of last year's team, as this one is one cleanly up to the point. Unable to hold it in there was Carl, and it's sent back in deep. Zevnik couldn't reach this one here. Ludwig Larson wraps it hard around the boards, hoping for Vidmar. Up to the blue line where Carl couldn't hold on to this one. He'll play it back long to be taken by Sanderson. Sanderson rolls it in deep. Zevnik can't reach that one. Vidmar on the far side half wall, played to the middle of the ice. Unable to catch that pass cleanly was Larson, and the Wildcats will counter. Reisinger at the red line, chips it in deep. The Cats will start up a change of defensive units here. Behind the net there by Carl is trying to hook it free. Behind the cage was Falconer. Lost out on the puck. It's moved along here by Larson, looking to create some space for Andren. Pass cross ice, deflected away and goes up and out of play. That's off a skate of a Wildcats player, so they'll keep the face off. No, they're going to move the face-off to the neutral ice, so they say it was off of Lone Star. 12:40 remaining in the first, and the Wildcats leading 2-0. We'll get a neutral zone face-off coming here. Right in front of the Wildcats penalty boxes. If you're just joining us, Jake Townsend at 3:13, and then Matt Cook at 5:37, or 5:27, I should say, has the Wildcats 2 goals to the good, as off the face-off they scrum. Lone Star controls and plays in deep. Kosmeski takes it off the stick of Zevnik, played around to the near side wall, looked up and out of play it goes, as Oakley wasn't able to keep his stick parallel to the ice, and it ramped up and out of play. Some lucky young fan is going to head home with a souvenir. 12:27 remaining in the first. Cats leading 2-0. It's important, though, that the Wildcats don't rest on their laurels here. I'm sure they're well aware of the situation. This is a Lone Star team that, although they do not put up too many shots on goal, they have some quick fire ability. Do the Brahmas. Oakley trying to force this one out. He wasn't able to do so here. Baum getting involved as well. So is Subri. Subri will play this one along the yellow boards. It's Shane Kosmeski. Softly back along for Baum. Baum has some trouble with it here, but he was able to force it into the neutral zone. Lines, it's picked up by Hansen, who now wheels it back into his own zone before swinging it along to his D partner, Giles. Giles up the ice, partially intercepted here. It's on the stick of Wickline. Trying to step free. Here is Vanderbeck. Uchin in the middle with them. Vanderbeck down below the goal line. Up to the blue line it goes. Here's Hansen wheeling. Shot. Blocked down in front. Where's the puck? It's cleared away. Litviak trying to chip this one past Hansen there. Getting a stick partially in the way from the bench. That's what I'm talking about with the gamesmanship from the Brahmas. Was a skater on the bench. Either way, we play on. Ramped into the offensive zone. Here's Carroll trying to get there ahead of Townsend. Shot never got all the way through as Azanaro and Townsend did just enough. Azanaro, beg your pardon. On the stick of APAP now. APAP to the red line, chips off the glass on the near side and hustles in after it. 11:20 remaining in the first. Wildcats leading 2-0 here as they've gotten off to a good start thanks to the efforts from the blue line. Galloping forward for Lone Star, it's Walrab. Ridden off there by Azanaro. Azanaro first to it here behind the net is Austin Bolio. Chip back up off the half wall. Steen towards the net, kicked away there. Steen holds his own and serves back down low. Townsend, the first to it there. It's left behind for Egan. Short angle attempt, and it's sent over the net by Wahlberg after a carom to the slot. Solovyev, shot, blocked there. Yeager wasn't able to kick it free. Solovyev on the puck once more. Solovyev walking towards the middle, puck loose. They jam for it. Zevnik's got it covered, and we'll get the whistle. 10:49 remaining in the first. The Wildcats leading 2-0, but were it not for Walrab shafting that one over the crossbar, it might have been 2-1. It was Egan playing it towards the front of the net for Carroll. It was touched along by Walrab, and he couldn't beat Zevnik upstairs. 10:49 remaining in the first. The Wildcats still leading 2-0. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Off to Zevnik's right. Bob will take the draw against Hogan Davison. Face-off is a tie, but stepping forward is Austin Albrecht for the Wildcats. It's on the stick of Cook. Cook tries to slam it cross ice, hoping it would reach Lazarus. It didn't. Stepping onto this one in the neutral zone was Eric Carreras. First to it here is Kessel below the goal line. Has Davidson getting involved as well. From Kessel. Played off to the near side. Lazarus trying to skate onto this one. Chipped it past a man. Lost out on it, however. Trying to seal off along the wall is Staub, and that keeps play alive momentarily. To the far side corner it goes. Trying to sweep up the wall there, but it was intercepted by Carreras from the stick of Albrecht. Back the other way, here's Sanderson. Chip forward. Davidson trying to hustle onto this one there. Takes a little hack around the shins from Cam Knight before he's sealed off. 10 minutes remaining in the first period. Going down to the ice behind the play is Hogan Davidson on a clear sell job. The referee wasn't buying. Below the goal line here after the Wildcats dump in was TJ Black. He left it there for Carl. Up the ice for Andre. He got to stick to it. That negates the icing as Cook is the first back to it here. Left it behind the net for Baum. Now it's Reisinger. Slammed off the boards and it reaches Farmer. Farmer left it behind. Hooked it towards the middle hoping for Falconer. It was intercepted and played forward by Ludwig Larson. Larson, now it's Vidmar. His headman pass for Andre and just spiked away. Reisinger shanks it in the neutral zone here. Wanting it through the seam was Vidmar. It never came. Wrapped around the boards. Will this go for icing? No, it will not. It was deflected, so Cook will take this on the far side. Poke towards the middle there. Funny bounce off a seam along the boards as he was trying to reverse it. Look out up there as that was hammered up and out of play from the stick of Hayden Hansen. 9:21 remaining in the first period. The Wildcats leading 2-0. Goals from Jake Townsend and Matt Cook have the Wildcats 2 goals ahead, but the Brahmas are starting to respond over the last few minutes here. A good chance a moment ago was Storm Walrab playing in just his 3rd game is the call-up. Just a moment ago, Cook on a dump-in after a suspected icing was waved off. His wrap around the back of the net hit a seam, carry him towards the middle, but alert to it was Cam Knight, and the Wildcats were able to escape the danger. Just joining us, the Wildcats took a 2-0 lead in the first 5:27 of this period. They got a couple of shots from the blue line past TJ Black. through some screens and traffic in front. The first one, a big blast from Jake Townsend, his 8th of the year. Check that, 9th of the season, a new career high for Jake. Matt Cook got his 5th of the year as he continues to impress in his sophomore campaign in the North American Hockey League. Faceoff will be right at center ice. We've had a clean game thus far, but with the Brahmas, who are averaging over 22 penalty minutes per game, you know there's going to be some at some point. Here's Shane Kosmeski. Pass along, finds Oakley. Oakley takes it off the boards and plays this one in deep. Black steps away from his crease to leave it there for Hayden. Hayden sealed off there nicely by Subri. Getting involved down low was Oakley. Oakley hooked it along for Subri. Gem attempt by Subri there. Puck is still loose, and now covering is Black. Whitfiak got involved as well. 9:03 remaining in the first. Cats still 2 goals to the good, and they'll have an offensive zone draw coming with a faceoff to the left of TJ Black. So right away, things did not go to the Brahmas' game plan. They're typically accustomed to getting ahead early in contests. As I mentioned, they've scored first in 27 of their 38 games. Game number 39 for both teams. Litviak towards the front of the net, couldn't pull the trigger here. He'll chase it back to the wall. Sent towards the middle of the ice. Shane Kosmeski shuffled it along here for Jeff Baum, the local product, with a big cheering section on hand tonight. Lots of his friends from just up the road in Colleyville, but he lost out on this one. Carroll giving a good bump there, but stepping forward, here's Egan. Egan trying to get around Baum. Quick shot, save, fought off. Rebound is loose, and overskating it was Carroll. Steen softly towards the net and steered wide there after it got through everyone. Played towards the front of the net, holding on a slap shot and having it jabbed away with Soloviev. Now Litviak looks to motor forward, has Oakley to his right and uses him. Here's Oakley, top of the right circle, shot looking for the far side corner, and it floated wide of the cage. Apap goes back down low. That was away from all teammates in black sweaters, as Steen will start this one slowly up the ice. Gives it to Egan, who gets to the red line and plays in deep. 8:15 remaining in this first period, as this is as an arrow. Along to a forward here. Apap touched it along for Bolio. Bolio walks towards the middle, delays. Here's Townsend, holding shot, fought off there by Clark, cleared away, and skitters into the neutral zone. Wildcats finding some room to work along the blue line for the time being. Townsend over the red line, floats this one back into the far side corner. It goes. Bolio seals his man off it nicely there as he was losing off on some amount of size as Carl held his own. Bolio now for the Wildcats to the point. Townsend holding, shot, fought off. Blocker save there. Puck is loose. Wrapped around the boards on a clear attempt held by Townsend once more. To the corner for Bolio. Skipped over his blade. Apap gets involved there. Cam Knight tries to hold the zone, but it's spiked out of midair down the ice nicely by Pete Kessel. Townsend finds some room to work. Gains his own. Gives to Albrecht. Shot saved. Rebound. Overskated. Stubb can't pull the trigger. Albrecht again. Shot saved, and Black will cover the rebound. 7:20 remaining in the first. The Wildcats finding some room to operate at the blue line. They've got 2 goals from defensemen thus far. They lead 2-0 here in North Richland Hills. What they're doing right now is working it well along the wall. They're winning the board battles for the time being, and they're finding space along the blue line, and the defensemen are having their pick-up plays, either slap shot, wrist shot, or play it back towards the corner to keep the cycle moving. In the offensive zone face-off for the Brahmas. This one is sent all the way down the ice, but comes up just short of icing here. Cook plays his back out of the defensive zone, tagging up on a delayed offside are the Brahmas as Cook settles in his own end. Cook steps past the forechecking Andre. Cook plays it up ahead. Here's Collins. Staub around Hansen. Staub, backhander, and it goes wide of the cage. Lazarus first to it here along the blue line. Here's Cook towards the net. Save. Rebound in the skates of Staub, and Black didn't have to make a save. Vidmar softly ahead. He found a teammate. Moving it forward, here's Hayden Hansen, and he'll play this one in deep. 6:40 remaining in this first period as Albrecht takes this one on the far side wall. Floated it back off to the near side, floated over the head of a Brahmas skater. Collecting it here is Hayden Hansen. Hansen, as both teams are in the midst of a change. Ramping this one in deep there was Vanderbeck. First to it behind the cage was Roman Uchin. Uchin in the offensive zone, down below the goal line there. First to it, Wickline. Wickline spinning away from Farmer. Vanderbeck involved there as Cam Knight is draped all over him. Vanderbeck looking to walk out in front. Good sticks there by Farmer and Knight both as they cancel it out. Only as far as Steen at the point, but it skipped over his blade, and Soloviev has some trouble with this as well. Reisinger wasn't able to get onto this one, but Farmer picks up the loose puck. Farmer gains his own, plays it towards the front of the net. Reisinger turnaround shot blocked there by a skate of Steen in the slot. Tipped down the ice by Lone Star as we're inside the last 6 minutes of play in the first period. Here's Alex Falconer through the middle of the ice. Falconer down the middle. His shot canceled out. Didn't get all the way through. Reisinger forces steam below the goal line. He'll come out from behind the cage of black and ladle it to the neutral zone. Kosmeski along for Reisinger, along for Kosmeski. Kosmeski's shot, save, rebound, knocked away to the corner. Kosmeski settles there, looks to go into battle in the corner and plays it back behind the cage. Reisinger wasn't able to pursue. He's at the end of his shift as this is Solovyev playing it forward for Walrab. Walrab chips in deep. He'll win this race here behind the cage of Zebnik. It's left along here, looking to play up to the point. Sanderson holds. Slap shot still holds. Now on to his deep partner, Carl. Shot towards the net. Deflected attempt there. And Zebnik made the save on Egan. Cleared up to the point. Carl along for Sanderson near side blue line. Sanderson puts on the brakes. Now holds on a slap shot to the middle. He goes. Gave it along for Carl. Shot scores! Third goal of the game. Third one from the blue line. And it's 2-1. Carl picks up his first career point and first career goal as he sneaks one by Zebnik to make it 2-1. It's going to be a back and forth weekend, that is for sure. And after the Wildcats took a 2-0 lead, had a couple of chances to go up just like that and make it 3-0. Coming back the other way was Carl and getting a goal. And you have to say, for all the Wildcats' good work in the offensive zone, and they've been playing well in the defensive zone, that was just some good work by that unit for the Brahmas. We'll get back to play here. The Wildcats hoping that they can either stretch this lead or at the very least hold it in the last 5 minutes of the first period, because 2-2 on 2 unanswered goals is a much different mindset in the locker room here. This is Yeager trying to knock it down. Apap comes along and shovels it up the wall. This is Sanderson in the neutral zone. Play through the middle of the ice. Here's Vidmar. Lost the puck here as Azanaro will take this one behind the cage. Yeager along the near side wall in the defensive zone, skates towards the corner, bumped off the back wall, where Azanaro will take it. This is Townsend, he turned it over, shot from Larson, was blocked in front, didn't get all the way through. Andren was camped out at the top of the crease of Zebnik. Now Yeager trying to walk past a man there. Someone got a stick in the way, but it's Townsend cleaning up and skating down the right wing wall. Steered wide of the cage by Black. Sanderson first to it here, as both teams are in the midst of a change as we tick down towards the last 4 minutes in the first period. Sanderson, pass through the middle of the ice on the stick of Matt Cook. Cook ladled along for Albrecht here. He got to stick to it, so no icing as we'll play on. In his own zone, it's Sanderson. Bumped it back along. This one picked up by Walrab in his own zone. Rather, this is moved along by Giles. Having his pocket picked there by Albrecht. Albrecht forces it towards the corner. Floated high up into the air here. Skipping down in the neutral zone. It's Vanderbeck chopping at this one. Knight settles lacrosse style, but can't win the puck. Roman Uchin in the corner. Uchin swung towards the middle. Vanderbeck loading shot saved by Zebnik, as Vanderbeck was in the top of the left wing face-off circle. Making the save was Zebnik. 3:45 remaining in the first. 2-1 the score in favor of the Wildcats. Townsend and Cook for the Cats, but coming back with an answer of their own from the blue line, Alex Carl. Face-off coming up to Zebnik's right. The first of 2 games between the Brahmas and Wildcats here this weekend. A crucial battle for position at the top of the South Division, as the Wildcats third, the Brahmas second, as they battle for that second bye into the division semifinals in the playoffs. Egan holds his own along the wall. He'll go in towards it and now takes it to the right wing wall towards the net, deflected there in front, and no one home on the back door to clean that one up, as Walrab was a little late to get there. Walrab spins below the goal line here, looking to step free. This is Carroll behind the net. Carroll up to the blue line. Hansen holds along for Giles towards the net. Skipping around there, steered wide by Zebnik, as Farmer banks this one up the wall. Reisinger trying to force it free. Farmer took a shot up high, loses out, but the puck lands on the stick of Matt Cook. Cook getting chased in his own zone. He'll just play this one down the ice. It'll go for icing against the Wildcats with 3:03 remaining in the first. Cook all of a sudden thought he had a lot of room to work in front of him, but then that was closed down quite quickly, and he had to just fling it the length of the ice. And watch out for this one here. The Wildcats in Friday's 5-4 loss, the game-winning goal was actually scored after the Wildcats had conceded an icing. Off the face-off, this is Reisinger on the far side trying to work it free. He was able to do so on some help from Farmer. Reisinger will get to the red line here. Skates along the blue line as his teammates are changing. Reisinger led it softly along to the corner, lost out to Solovyev. Here's Solovyev back to the near side. He was hoping for Larson. Larson will skate this through the middle of the ice, drops it for Vidmar. Vidmar holding on it. Now a shot goes wide of the cage on a knuckling puck. Litviak picks this one up. 2:35 remaining in the first as the Cats lead 2-1. Litviak along here, and as he was trying to dance his way through 2 or 3, he lost out on a puck and some skates. In the neutral zone, this is Shane Kosmeski. He'll bank it along, hoping for Oakley there. Skittering puck through the neutral zone is stepped onto here by Vidmar. Vidmar, 1-on-4. Townsend checks him off it from behind as Litviak takes it behind the cage and worked it along for Oakley on the near side half wall. Oakley flings this one cross ice. It comes up well short of icing. Wildcats will start up a change. Oakley holds his own, leads it down the wall, hoping for Subri there. Left behind the cage by Black, and Steen picks this one up. Steen through the middle hits Uchin. Roman Uchin now galloping forward. Uchin walking in. His shot fought off by Zebnik. Might have gotten a piece of it with the shaft of the stick. Oakley is able to force this one free. Puts it on the stick of Bolio. Bolio, right wing wall. Shot saved, spilled here by Black and knocked away. Held in here by Black, or picked up by Vanderbeck, I should say, as Uchin walks this one forward. Toe drag trying to get around Baum. Baum will direct him towards the corner below the goal line. Uchin tries to spin away from Baum. Left it behind the net there, looking to hook it free towards the front of the net was Cody Wickline. Left below the goal line here as Azanaro plays this one up the ice. He was hoping for Apap. If Apap had gotten his stick to it here, I thought he had gotten his stick to it. He might have been off to the races. Instead, it's an icing call with 82 seconds remaining in the first. The Wildcats leading 2-1. They are out shooting Lone Star 15-10 thus far, which is only 8 fewer than Lone Star is allowing, i.e. they're allowing 23 shots on goal per game. That's the fewest in the North American Hockey League. Off the face-off, loose puck, scrum for, trying to pull it free was Bolio. He's tied up there, and Baum is able to force this along for Tommy Apap. Now it's Oakley in his own zone. He'll ladle this one softly up the ice as the Wildcats will try to finish up the change. Last 70 seconds of the first period, the Wildcats leading 2-1 on all 3 goals coming from the blue line. Cook and Townsend for the Wildcats. Carl for the Brahmas as Carroll skates forward. Here's Carroll looking to play towards the middle of the ice. Sevnik got some pads in the way there. Up to the blue line. Hansen holds on it. Now plays it below the goal line there. First to it is Walrab. Tied up there by Staub in the last minute of play in the period. Brought to you by La Quinta Inns and Suites. Albrecht chips this one. Was he able to force it free? Yes, he was. Stepping forward, here is Yeager. Yeager with Staub in front, and a good back check there by Hansen. Otherwise, Staub would have had a great chance to make it 3-1. Here is Matt Cook. 30 seconds remaining. Cook, pass, hoping for Staub. No icing here, as they say, he got to the red line. Hansen dueling there with Staub. Staub has it there, tied up in the corner, as Staub will try to step this one away. Instead, it's below the goal line once more. Staub trying to force it along, as this is Yeager unable to sweep up the wall. Cats weren't able to hold the zone. Last 10 seconds of the period as they tag up. Gaining the zone, here's Albrecht. Albrecht, bouncing puck here, couldn't direct it towards the net in the last 6 seconds. Townsend spikes this one off the glass. Down the ice it goes, and that should do it for the first period, as now we get the horn. An entertaining 20 minutes here at the in North Richland Hills at the NITEX Center, as the Wildcats took a 2-0 lead on goals from the blue line before the Brahmas answered back with a blue line marker of their own. 2-1 is where we stand at the end of 20 minutes of play. We'll step aside and come back. When we do, we'll break it all down. We'll also hear from Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine, as Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing will continue just after this on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Tech Center in North Richland Hills. Ben Horner with you, bringing you Wildcats hockey presented by Armored Roofing on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Wildcats are leading 2-1 with 20 minutes in the books. First of two games here this weekend between these two teams in a crucial battle at the top of the South Division standings as these two teams jostling for second spot. Wildcats are third, the Brahmas are second entering the weekend. Battling it out to try and pick up that second spot and that second bye into the division semifinals come playoff time in April. Matt Cook and Jake Townsend with the goals for the Wildcats. Townsend from Azanaro and Yeager at 3:13 of the first. Matt Cook listed as unassisted for the time being. I think that will actually hold because it was a clearing attempt that never got all the way out. He chased it down, turned, walked towards a circle, and wristed it through traffic, and it got past TJ Black. 5:27 of the first, but Alex Carl at 14:54 of the first period got one of his own from the blue line for the Brahmas, and that is where we stand 2-1. The Wildcats 15 shots on goal in that first period, and as I mentioned towards the end of that frame, the Brahmas averaging only 23 shots on goal against per game, so the Wildcats firing early, firing often, and firing from all directions, which actually is fitting given what happened at the KYC when these two teams back in October. The Wildcats posted over 35 shots on goal per game in those two contests, but it was only good enough for one win. And I had a chance to catch up with Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine before the game, and he was talking about he was really placing an emphasis on eliminating the chances and eliminating the high quality chances and getting the first goal. Well, the Wildcats were able to get the first goal here this evening, and they were able to keep a clean slate as well, or they were able to keep their noses clean as well, I should say. But here now, earlier in the day, is Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine.
Our Brahmas in a crucial two-game set. Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine. And John, you know these two games are going to be a battle. They're two of the more important games the Wildcats have faced over the last month or 2 months. What are you expecting heading into a series in a very difficult place to play on the road?
Well, it's going to be a huge challenge for us, but I think we're up for the challenge. I think our guys want this challenge. It would have been nice if we were playing a little more consistent these last 2 weeks. You'd feel a little bit more confident. At the same token, our guys always seem to rise to the challenge.
Record at home 20-1 at the NYTEX Sports Center. They're the only team in the North American Hockey League that has not lost in regulation in their home building yet. What about their game plan at home makes that such a difficult place to go and play and pick up points?
Well, they're very, very strong in their defensive zone, and they're patient, Ben. They don't take chances. They just come at you really hard. We call it a swarm, where they'll send three guys in the corner to get a turnover. And so we have to be making quicker decisions. We have to be making smarter decisions with the puck so that we don't get trapped in the corner. And we've worked on that, and it's going to be unique because really there's no other teams that are playing this warm like they do, and they might be the only one right now that's sticking with it. We had a couple other teams try it early in the year, and they're not doing it anymore. But these guys are patient and their defensemen are very underrated. Their defensemen are, they're all mobile. They're smart. They're not, other than you have scoring-wise, they're not up there maybe putting as many points in. They rely on their forwards for the scoring, but they know their role, and they're very strong defensively.
You mentioned that swarm down in the corners. Does that open up some space to potentially get the quick breakout working if you can spring the puck loose and string a couple passes together?
Well, it's in their D zone, so it's not breaking out, Ben. It's in the D zone, so the puck is chipped to the corner, or one of our guys is going to get to it. They're smart about it, though. They'll have one guy immediately go, and the other two are not far behind him. So that's where we're hoping to be able to have areas to put empty when they do that.
When these two teams last met back in October here at the KYC, the Wildcats posted 38 shots on goal in one game and 37 shots on goal in the other. But we talked after that you weren't too pleased with the quality of look that your team was able to generate. How do you go about getting higher quality looks on a team that is only giving up 26 to 27 shots on goal per game? Check that, 23 shots on goal per game. They're posting 27 of their own.
Best in the league right now as far as shots against, the lowest number of shots against. So somebody gets 38, 37 on that was early in the year before they really had their systems down pat. And, I'll be honest, we'll be happy with 30, 35 against them, which is way more than they're used to giving up. That's the challenge. They don't give up a lot. They really protect hard, and they have two lines of forwards that are as good, if not better than anybody in the league. Obviously, they have the leading scorer, and Ludwig Larson is right behind Vidmar. So we've got to be playing very strong defensively against them, limiting their opportunities, and hoping that we're on offense more. But they're patient. They're very patient. They'll chip it by you or stretch or just get it deep.
There are 24 goals, 31 assists, 55 points. He's tied for the league lead in points, tied for the league lead in goals, and no question that he's one of the better, more skilled players in this league. He's already more than doubled his output from last year. John, let's talk special teams a little bit here because this is going to be a good matchup. The league's top power play against the penalty kill that is the fourth best in the league, and on the other side, it's a penalty kill that has not been at the level that the Wildcats would like, but on the other side of the ice, Lone Star has been struggling on the power play recently.
We have to hopefully keep our power play going the direction it's been going, and that's with some units that on any given night will be on fire, and it's been very effective. And we watch their PK, and they're very good at it. They attack you. They've got good sticks. They're disciplined, and we're going to have to make quicker decisions and move the puck quicker, and then attack. And then on our PK, we've worked a lot this week on our penalty kill. We've changed it up to a little bit more different, more staying in shot lanes, a little more traditional penalty kill, which we're going to have to do against them because they have 3 and 4 guys high and want to shoot, and we don't need to be chasing out there. And then all of a sudden when they collapse, they got an easy goal because they outman us at the net. So our goal is to be able to block shots and keep the puck out of their scoring area and create turnovers on the PK.
Let's talk third period here, John. You've mentioned their patience and things of that nature, but just to give you a bit of an idea, Lone Star in the third period is scoring 58 goals. They've scored 135 on the year. They are far outscoring their opponents in the third period. So is it a sense of they'll sit back, absorb the pressure, and then kind of hit you on the counter?
No, what happens, Ben, is they get the lead. Watch the majority of their games, they're up 2-0, 1-0 in the first, and then they're very good with the lead. That patience is what causes the other teams to struggle because they know that you're pressing to try to get the lead back, to try to catch up. They just wait. They patiently wait. They don't care if the puck is a little bit in their end for a little bit. They'll keep you on the outside, and you make a mistake.
Are certainly something that they've been capitalizing on this year. I mentioned 26 shots on goal per game for Lone Star, 20th in the league, but they still have the fourth highest scoring offense. Just goes to show you something we talked about earlier in the week. High percentage scoring chances has been the recipe for success for the Brahmas. The Wildcats will be looking to eliminate those chances this weekend. And of course, always look out for the first goal. Lone Star 22-2-3 when scoring first. The Wildcats 21-0 when scoring first. But the Brahmas did get the first goal in both of the games back at the KYC. John, thanks so much for your time. We'll let you get out of here, and we'll step aside. When we come back, we'll have the Jerry Sporting Goods Out-of-Town Scoreboard Report as Wildcats hockey presented by Armored Roofing continues just after this.
Tech Center. You just heard from Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine. He's likely fairly pleased with how that first period of action went for the Wildcats. They lead 2-1 here in North Richland Hills over the Lone Star Brahmas in the first of 2 games this weekend. Well, it's a full slate. The Wildcats not the only game on offer this weekend in the North American Hockey League. All but 2 teams are in action here this evening. Around the North American Hockey League on the Jerry Sporting Goods out-of-town scoreboard. It has gone final in Flint, Michigan. The Keystone Ice Miners stay hot. They pick up a 5-3 win. That is now 11 games with just 1 regulation loss in that span. Keystone, one of the hottest teams in the league, as they are securely in second spot in the North Division. Upper Peninsula in the Sioux, 6-1. Janesville holding the lead. The Jets all over the Eagles right now. Janesville, the best team in the league. They've won 6 straight at 16 of their last 17. They are running away with the North. They are 21 points clear as we entered action this evening. In Minnesota, Austin playing host to their in-state rivals, the Magicians. 2-1. The Bruins holding the lead. In the latter stages of the second period there, Austin comes into tonight's action just 3 points back of Minot for first place in the Central. And those aforementioned Minot Minotauros are in Brookings this evening, taking on the Blizzard in the first of 2 games between those two this weekend. 1-1 the score there about halfway through the second period. In Springfield, the Junior Blues trailing 3-0 to the Johnstown Tomahawks. This is a pivotal series in the North Division, 1 point separating the 2 teams final playoff spot in the North. Johnstown snapped a 7-game losing streak last night with a 3-2 shootout win over the same squad. 3 games between those 2 teams this weekend. In Bismarck, it is 1-1 between the Bobcats and the Aberdeen Wings. Aberdeen 5-1 home loss by Brookings last night. And here's an interesting one to consider, as Aberdeen is the road team on this weekend set. The Wings are 12-7-1 on the road and 6-15-1 at home. You don't often see a split so to separate in the North American Hockey League. Around the South Division, it's 2-1. Corpus Christi holding the lead over the Odessa Jackalopes. The Ice Rays picked up a 3-2 win in overtime last night. They're in the latter stages of the second period at the Ector County Coliseum. In Amarillo in the Budweiser bullpen, the Bees are up 1-0 over the Bulls, as those two are meeting for 2 games. Last time the Bees were in Amarillo, they came away with a 4-point weekend with a win and an overtime win at the end of September. A big series there, as those two are separated by just 1 point in the hunt for the 6th and final playoff spot in this South Division. Later on this evening, it'll be Kenai playing host to the Wenatchee Wild, whereas Fairbanks will host the Cooley Region Chill. More on those games as the evening progresses, but that'll do it on the Jerry Sporting Goods out-of-town scoreboard. And that'll do it for us here on Intermission Report. We'll step aside when we come back. We'll have the second period of action as the Wildcats look to continue their strong effort thus far. They lead 2-1 through 20, 40 minutes still to go. On the other side of the break, Wildcats hockey presented by Armored Roofing will continue just after this. Wildcats lead 2-1 over the Lone Star Brahmas as we enter the second period of play. Teams will change ends. We'll start this period 5-on-5. Zevnik in the cage to our right as the Cats skate P to Q across your keyboard. As coming back the other way are the Lone Star Brahmas, trailing 2-1, wearing their home white sweaters. They move from left to right, and that's Q to P across your keyboard. Wildcats got 2 goals from the blue line in the first 5+ minutes of the first period to take a 2-0 lead. Alex Carl picked up his first career goal at 14 and change to make it 2-1. That is where we stand. No penalties in that first period, and the Wildcats are quite happy with that, given their recent adventures on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill. But, and it's usually the second or third period where we really start to see Lone Star ramp up the chirping and the gamesmanship and try to get under their opponent's skin. Polio, Apap, and Yeager out there. It'll be Wickline, Uchin, and Vanderbeck countering for Lone Star. Shaq, the linesman, will bring them together, and the puck is down. We are underway in the first period, or in the second period, brought to you by American Classified, as the Wildcats control off the draw. It's worked along here to Apap. Bolio will try to play this one in deep and does so. Giles first to it here as we are just underway in the second period here in North Richland Hills. Wildcats leading 2-1. Ben Orner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Knight tries to sweep this one down the wall there, stepped free, left it behind, swung towards the front of the net there, nobody home, as this is played here by Apap along for Matt Cook. Matt Cook, newly minted record holder for points in a single season by a defenseman, as this one has worked along for Bolio from stop. Here's Bolio, loading shot, spilled there by Black into a dangerous area. Wickline comes along. That one gets up and out of play off a deflection. Where will they put the face-off? It'll stay in the Wildcats' offensive zone. 19:18 remaining in the second, just underway in the second stanza here in North Richland Hills. 2-1, the Wildcats holding the lead. A very slim lead, but we'll get you the numbers anyway. Wildcats are 12-0-0 and leading after one. The Brahmas 3-6-0 and trailing after one. One thing you notice about Black through the first period and a little bit more of this game is he's not catching the puck cleanly. You're not seeing it very well, at least for the time being. He's spilling some rebounds. If the Wildcats can get bodies towards the front of the net, they might have more goals in this game. Both guys washed out of the faceoff. That's Staub and Ludwig Larson. So Lazarus will step in to go against Vidmar. 22 versus 22, as the Wildcats 22 comes away with a win on that one. Turnaround shot there from Albrecht, intercepted. Now look out, looking to motor forward. This is Vidmar, chipping past Kuzmeski. Kuzmeski can't beat Vidmar to the spot there. Poke towards the front of the net there, and Vidmar has it spiked away. To the blue line it goes. Here's Steen, back down towards the corner. It works behind for Andren. Andren leaves it there for Vidmar. Vidmar behind the net, getting worked over there by Kuzmeski. Pass up to Andren, and it was away from his blade, and it goes all the way back into the defensive zone. TJ Black motors out of his cage and leaves it there for Steen. Albrecht takes a penalty. That'll be a tripping call against Austin Albrecht. He knew it right away, and the Wildcats will head to the box for the first time tonight. Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill upcoming, and the Wildcats desperately need to kill this one off to get a little bit of confidence working shorthanded. Face up will be to the right of Zevnik. Wildcats on the year, 118 for 147 on the PK. That's 80.3%, just 18th of 24 teams in the North American Hockey League. And as I mentioned, they were just 2 for 6 on the PK last weekend against Corpus. This one quickly back. Here's Hansen wheeling on it. Now around the zone he goes. Hansen shot, goes wide of the cage. Vidmar on the far side wall. He'll take it in front of Staub. This is clear the length of the ice as it caroms to Cam Knight's stick. Brahmas on the power play, 9th in the league, 20.7%. 38 for 184 are the raw numbers. At home, they're just a little bit better than that, 22.4% on home ice. Cranked around there by Hansen, never got all the way through as Larson tries to pick this one up behind the net. Cook wired this one around the boards, held in by Sanderson with Staub in front of him. Sanderson goes down into the corner for Andren. Left behind there, Farmer tries to clear this one off the boards and down, and he does. 45 seconds gone in the penalty at Albrecht. Moved quickly along by Black to Sanderson. Through the middle of the ice, here is Vanderbeck. Now it's Vidmar towards the front of the net there. Punched away from Egan on the back door as Cam Knight clears. Not out. Nicely held there at the point by Sanderson. Towards the middle of the ice, the Wildcats are able to clear. Only as far as Sanderson. He'll walk back to his own blue line and give it along to Hansen. Hansen. Pass off a stick in the neutral zone of Yeager. Knight will hustle back after that one and sweep it along the boards. Trying to hustle to meet it on the near side wall was Apap. Couldn't force it out of the zone. On a second attempt, Cook is able to play this one up ahead. Short-handed is Apap, but here comes Matt Cook. Walks to the right wing wall. Now it's Cook on his backhand. Play towards the front of the net there. Apap turns around, can't get the shot away. Yeager in front there. Nobody in the slot as the Wildcats have killed off a few more seconds on the penalty kill. First to it here is Walrab. Walrab below the goal line. Wildcats can't clear. Here's Solovyev towards the net. Off the stick of Kuzmeski and floats high into the corner. Jaeger trying to win this one off the wall there. He did so, trying to kick it free as Jaeger had his stick tied up, hollering at the referee. Greco, no call of coming. Here is Steen trying to walk around Kuzmeski there. It's loose in the corner in the last 8 seconds of the penalty kill. As trying to spin this one towards the front of the net was Walrab. Kuzmeski clears, not out. Puck loose in front of the net. Shot, scores! Broken play. The Wildcats just couldn't clear. I don't know if that'll be a power play goal. There are zeros on the clock, but the Wildcats had a chance to get the crucial clear, and they couldn't do it. They did all the hard work, but at the end, the Brahmas tie. I did not see who that was in front. It's going to be number 12, Ludwig Larson, a broken play. Saw the puck squirt loose. Sevnik never had a shot. Right back where we started. The Wildcats now level with the Brahmas, and actually, if you want to be a little bit frustrated if you're a Wildcats fan, you might point to the penalty that was not called, as Jaeger had his stick very clearly tied up, but Greco, to his credit, let that one go a couple times in the first period and did the same in the second, and we played on, and at the end, the Wildcats weren't able to get the last clear that would have killed it off. Disappointing for the Wildcats. If that one goes down as a power play goal, they did all the hard work and really eliminated pretty much all offensive opportunities on the man advantage until a broken play. Saw the puck squirt across the crease, and Larson was on hand to pick up his 34th point of the year on goal number 12. Reisinger through the middle of the ice. His pass intercepted. Knight swept it along. This is Reisinger to the near side, and Falconer. Falconer at the outside of the circle. He'll play this one below the goal line. Farmer settles, chops it towards the middle of the ice there. Puck loose, played along the line. Azanaro, good step on the far side. Lost out on it, though, as trying to spring free, but turning it over here, the Brahmas. Falconer loading shot, save there, in and out of the glove of Black, as he continues to have trouble handling the puck clean. Stepping free, here is Wickline. Nice interception here by Jeff Baum, as Falconer comes back to finish up the mop-up job. Falconer, along for Azanaro. Azanaro, along for Reisinger. Reisinger to Farmer near side. Skidder off the stick of Farmer, as Hogan Davidson will take this one. Davidson sweeps it around the boards. Zebnik will stay in his crease as Litviak goes in on the far side, loses out, and will chip behind the cage. Farmer on a good recovery play after Litviak got this one back, slapped down the glass. This will skitter towards the cage of Black, but will be icing against Nick Farmer and the Wildcats. 15:43 remaining in the second. We're right back where we started, all tied up. 2 for the Brahmas, 2 for the Wildcats, as they have back with 2 unanswered after the Wildcats put up 2 unanswered of their own to start the game. So they do credit it as a power play goal. So tough break for the Wildcats on that one, as this is Hogan Davidson unable to hold the zone. Litviak steps along, gives to Reisinger. Reisinger, right wing side. Litviak gets to the middle, and it's spiked away from Litviak on a feed from Reisinger. Litviak getting worked over there. Subri out on the ice as well, as Cam Knight and Matt Cook patrol the blue line. Puck loose in the offensive corner of the Wildcats, trying to dig it free. This is the swarm in action that we heard Coach LaFontaine talk about in that first intermission. Davidson first to it here. Subri rubbed him off the wall. Subri up to the point for Cook. He'll dig for it and wasn't able to hold the zone, and Knight has to chase it back into his own zone. Knight spins it up the wall. Here is Matt Cook on the near side. Cook pump faked on a pass. Now one through the middle of the ice. Skips away. Subri charging down, and this is cleared away by TJ Black. Could have been a 2-on-1. Nice stick there by Matt Cook, and Subri to sweep this one in deep from the neutral zone. Black steps out of his crease to play it here. Swept along the wall. Cook holds towards the net. Flubbed it. Gets it right back. Cook towards the front of the net again. Puck is still loose, and Oakley couldn't get a stick to the loose puck in front. Trying to clear the Brahmas. Nice step there by Cook to hold it in front of Vidmar towards the front of the net. Intercepted there as Oakley was camped out in front of the blue paint. Albrecht holding again towards the front of the net. Chopped away there. Oakley below the goal line now. Up to the point. It's Cam Knight. Holds on it. Steps inside. Shot deflected away to the back door. Here is Staub on the near side wall. Below the goal line, it's Albrecht. Out on the ice is Lazarus. Albrecht went down. No call up coming here as Vidmar will chop this one free. Going back into his own zone, it's Cam Knight. Draped all over them there was Oscar Andrew, and legally so, said Greco, the referee. Left behind by Cam Knight, spun towards the middle, and Albrecht alert to it, but it's held in here. Shot is blocked and goes wide. Here is Matt Cook in his own zone. Takes a bump up high, no call upcoming here. Albrecht can't play this one up the wall. It got lost in the body of Egan. Having to chase back into his own zone, it's Cam Knight. Knight along for Cook now on the near side. Cook has been out there for quite a long time. Played towards the front of the net there. Two Brahmas in front. No one there, and Zevnik will cover up a loose puck. 13:38 remaining in the second. That's exactly what the Wildcats can't let happen, as that one was squirting around their own zone for quite some time, and they just weren't able to get it away from their own blue line. But Zevnik, alert to a loose puck, covers up. 2-2 the score, a power play tally as time expired on a man advantage for Ludwig Larson from Storm Walrab, and Johan Steen has this one tied up at 2 goals apiece. Off, one back here to the point. Here's Carl holding, shot deflected there and goes just wide of the cage. In front of the net with a stick in front was Wickline. On the far side wall, the Cats aren't able to force this one out of the zone. Kosmeski lost a glove as he tried to punch it out of midair. Puck is loose in the Wildcats defensive zone, spiked away to the corner. Boyo digs it free, gave it to Townsend. Up the glass it goes as Carl is trying to hustle back there to beat Boyo. Boyo steps down the wall, onside play. Boyo can't hook it along to APAP. Boyo still digging for this one here on the near side wall as the Wildcats are able to get into the offensive zone. It's Yeager below the goal line. Boyo down there with him as Wickline gets hacked at there from Boyo. Good step here by Townsend to hold his own. Boyo off the far side wall, spins off the check, plays into the corner hoping for APAP. Skipped over his stick. Yeager the first to it here. Yeager bumps it towards the front of the net. Off a skate it goes and it stays loose behind the cage. Yeager trying to battle there with Carl. Carl ties it up below the goal line. 12:40 remaining in the second period. 2-2 we skate as it's even strength hockey here at the NYTEX Center. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats broadcast networks. And now Carl with a mugging of Eric Yeager. Everybody's skating in. Kosmeski steps down. Carl jumped on top of Yeager, gave him a few shots. Let's see if Yeager gets a penalty as well. Carl is certainly going to get one. Right on top of it was Greco the whole way. They are going to give Yeager one. Having not heard what was being said or seen the initial parts of the exchanges, not sure how even this one was, but it was certainly Carl who threw Yeager down to the ice and started punching him. If this is even, I'd be interested to see what the penalties are. The Wildcats could be on the power play here. We'll see what the explanation is. 12:35 remaining in the second. Just one penalty on the board thus far. Carl, 2 minutes up on the board here. The Wildcats be on the power play is the question, or will this all cancel out? The clue will be where they move the puck, and I think the Wildcats are going to be on the power play. So they probably gave Yeager one that would cancel out with a double minor that is being assessed to Carl. We'll get you the calls when we have them. But either way, the Wildcats, tied up 2 apiece, are going to go to their first power play of the night. 41 for 150 on the year of the Wildcats, 27.3% on the man advantage. That's best in the league for the Wildcats. Face-off will be to the left of TJ Black. Brahmas on the PK this year, 4th in the league, 87.3%. And strong at home as well. They also score quite a few shorthanded goals. This one is ramped up to the point, but unable to lunge and hold was Townsend. He'll give it quickly along for Cook. Cook had it skip over his blade, so Matt will have to chase this farther back along. Walrab on a strong forecheck here, but it's worked along for Farmer. Farmer steps free as it spiked away from him here. Coming along was Cook. Ladled softly forward as the Wildcats can't get into the offensive zone quite yet. Cook maintains possession and plays it down low. Townsend into the zone comes Lazarus towards the front of the net. Just deflected away as Reisinger plays up to the point. Cook towards the net. Chopped down in front. Loose in front. And it's played by a high stick and it's waved off. As they say, Reisinger touched up on a high stick. It wouldn't have counted anyway, but Black had gotten himself out of position. So we'll get a whistle. 11:59 remaining in the second. As it is 2-2. The Wildcats on the power play for the first time this evening. Face-off upcoming in the neutral zone. those penalties posted in point streak, but it's a safe bet that the power play stems from it being a double minor to Carl and a single minor to Yeager. Either way, APAP wraps this one around the boards as the Wildcats try to get the power play working. Knight couldn't hold this one in at the left point. Now it's a foot race here as Vidmar skates out and puts Zevnik under pressure. He'll move it along for Townsend. Townsend in his own defensive corner through the middle of the ice gives to APAP. APAP didn't like his options, back for a rushing Bolio. Bolio hooks it forward for Townsend to gain the zone. Townsend puts on the brakes at the blue line, gives it along for Cam Knight, middle of the point. Knight along for Bolio. Bolio, quick pass in front. Staub towards the middle. Puck is loose there as Staub holds it on his backhand. Skating towards the corner here is Colin Staub. Playing towards the front of the net. Puck is bouncing around there. It's loose and it's swept away and down the ice it goes. 40 seconds remaining in the Wildcats power play. 11-10 remaining in the tie game in the second period. 2-2 the score. Cam Knight steps from behind the cage of Zevnik and motors forward. Knight gains a zone. Here is Knight. Looks to bump it off the wall for Bolio and does. Bolio out to Townsend. Middle of the blue line. Here's Townsend. Now it's Bolio. Top of the left circle. Holds on it. Flubbed it here. And it's cleared down the ice by Carroll. Wildcats are going to have to be quicker with these passes on the power play. The PK for Lone Star is too good to give them time to set up and get into their shape. Rushing it along. Here's Lazarus. Drops for Reisinger. Back for Lazarus. Lazarus looks to go all the way around in front. Here's Cook in the circle. Shot blocked in front there. Didn't get all the way through. It's skipping around. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey as the Cats hold the zone. It's Farmer. Walled off it here, but he'll play on. Farmer and Carroll will battle for it. Carroll steps away. This one is glassed down the ice. Swatted down here by Reisinger. Cats tag up on a delayed offside. So the Wildcats power play now 0 for 1. They are 0 for 1 in the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill, and that power play goal by Larson has us tied up here in the second period. Kosmeski couldn't step onto it cleanly. Cook in his own zone hooks it softly along for Oakley. Oakley has it skitter off his blade, lunging for it here. He got it to Reisinger. Drop pass. Here's Farmer, a shot off a body in front, goes up high and gets the glass. Oakley took a shot for his trouble behind the cage as the Wildcats try to hold the zone. And that's a bought call there by the Brahmas. Touching up of the Wildcats. It's a high stick against Reisinger. And from here, that one looked a little bit borderline. But that's the Brahmas game. 9:44 remaining in the second as Reisinger is none too pleased with the call from Greco. And the Wildcats will be shorthanded for the second time this period. And the second time it's been in offensive zone penalties. I'd be interested to see the splits on offensive neutral zone and defensive zone penalties for the Wildcats because it seems recently they've been taking a lot of penalties in the offensive zone. This one hard off the kick plate. Sanderson couldn't hold this one in, and it's worked softly forward as Larson will gain the zone. Here's Larson, flubbed a shot there, and spinning it down the ice was Evan Oakley. High sticking against Reisinger, just over 10-minute mark in the second period. The Wildcats on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill for the second time tonight and second time this period. As unable to skip past Cook was Oscar Andrin. Forced back into his own zone, Hayden will move this one along to be worked forward by Sanderson. Sanderson along to Larson. Larson now gains his own. His drop pass onside. Here's Vidmar holding. Shot kicked away there by Zevnik on the right post. Stop. Plays it behind the goal line there. Off to the near side. It comes to Cook in some space. His pass didn't clear the blue line. Hooked along. Here is Larson. Shot fought off there by Zevnik. Nicely on the blocker effort there. On the far side, it's Oscar Andrin. Hooked towards the blue line. Hansen puts it on his forehand, but it skipped over his blade, and he'll have to circle back. He gets forechecked there nicely by APAP. Hassled and harried into the neutral zone. Sanderson has it on his blade. He'll pitchfork this one into the offensive zone. Skipping puck is skated onto here by Cook. He'll turn and swing it the length of the ice. 45 seconds remaining in the penalty to Reisinger. Here comes Steen through the middle. Steen holding shot, fought up there. Rebound is loose, and it's sent wide of the cage. Here is Cook, hauled down to the ice, no call up coming. He wasn't able to clear the zone on his second attempt. Farmer just forces it in between the blue lines. Here's Pat Egan at center ice. Puck is left behind in the neutral zone, and Farmer sends it all the way down. Matt Cook slowly off to the bench as Kosmeski and Townsend are out there in the last 20 of the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill. 8 minutes remaining in the second period, 2-2 the score, but rushing along here's Egan. Townsend separated him from the puck, steps onto it, clears, but won't escape the blue line. Solovyev near side. Now it's Steen, his shot blocked in front there, holding onto it. Here's Steen, one-timer, scores! It was a knuckle puck from the blue line. Zevnik beaten with 3 seconds remaining on the power play, and the Wildcats have given the 2-goal lead away. They trail 3-2. And another goal from the blue line. This time it's Steen making it 3-2. Lone Star. Brahmas power play that was 5 for their last 40 on the power play heading into this game, and the Wildcats are making them look like magicians. Back to it here. Now the Wildcats have their work cut out for them. This is exactly where they didn't want to be, behind by a goal or two, heading towards the third period. Still 7:40 remaining in the second period. Puck is loose below the goal line as it's Azanaro. Fed towards the middle, turned over, up to the point, Hansen towards the net, deflected around there, and Zevnik was able to adjust quickly to get a glove to that one. Led along here, but not out. Sticked away there by Zevnik as off to the far side. It's chased down by Azanaro. Azanaro, now it's Oakley. Litviak settles through the middle of the ice. Litviak, 1-on-2. Toe drag here by Litviak. Upended. Puck is loose here as stepping onto it. It's Baum. His pass is intercepted. Hogan Davidson on a breakaway. Azanaro tries to get back. Shot, save, rebound. Puck is off its, or the net is off its moorings. Zevnik just got truck sticked by Davidson. Azanaro was sprinting back. Azanaro, I should say, trying to get some pressure on him. He might have done just enough as Zevnik made the save on Hogan Davidson. We get the whistle. 7:04 remaining in the second period. The Wildcats now trailing 3-2. They've given up 3 unanswered. Ludwig Larson at 3:13 of the second on a power play goal. And then just a moment ago, it was Johan Steen from Egan. Wildcats once more, it was the same story on the second power play goal as it was the first. Wildcats had a chance, they had a sniff at clearing it down the length of the ice to finish off the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill. They weren't able to do so, and the Brahmas made them pay. So Steen on a knuckling slap shot at 12:15 of the second. For Steen, that's goal number 3 on the year. And the Wildcats penalty kill unit have to be thinking, what are we going to have to do to kill one off? That's PK, now 2 for its last 8. And they're not going to win, not just this weekend, but going forward, and especially into the playoffs when you're playing the Topekas, when you're playing the Lone Stars, the Corpus Christis, your penalty kill has to be a boost, not a bust. So, work to do on that regard. Although, it must be said, the Wildcats penalty kill did everything but kill off those 2 penalties, but unfortunately for them, everything but has also led them to a 3-2 deficit here as they are trailing in the last 7 minutes of the second period. Trying to work this one free in doing so, it's Roman Uchin. Uchin spins away here and moves it along to Wickline. Uchin below the goal line, hooking out towards the front of the net. Puck is loose. It's still loose in the crease. Without a stick is Kosmeski back towards the net, blocked in front. Turnaround shot goes wide of the post from Uchin. Jabbing at it is Lazarus, couldn't work it free. Kosmeski still without a stick. He was able to punch it forward, but Albrecht touches up. That'll be a hand pass. And we'll get a whistle. 6:34 remaining in the second period, as the Wildcats could have been down 4-2 on a breakaway for Davidson just a moment ago. They could have been down 4-2 there as well. And Bolio, now about the 4th or the 5th Wildcats to skate over to Greco to ask for clarification about something, including Mr. Eric Yeager, who gives him a little drive-by. Thanks for joining us on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Ben Horner with you on a Friday evening at the end of January, wherever you may be tuning in from. We thank you for making us a part of your Friday evening plans. Face off to the right of Zevnik, Wildcats trailing by a goal. They opened up a 2-0 lead before Lone Star got themselves in gear. The Brahmas now lead 3-2. Up. This one floats over the cage of Zevnik into the near side corner. Cook rolls it along, hoping for Bolio. Bolio touched towards the middle there before he was crunched. As the Wildcats are having trouble with the breakout right now, the Brahmas adjusted the better of the two teams in the intermission, it seems, for the moment. Here is Cook. Floats to the middle of the ice. Apap touched it along here. Here's Apap. Quick shot steered wide there as it was Bolio moving it along for Jaeger, then to Apap. Cook spikes back in deep. Wildcats tag up on a delayed offside. No, they did not, as Jaeger and Bolio have to tag up. Jaeger doesn't realize, now he does, as more seconds tick away. Puck is loose in the neutral zone. Touched along by Jaeger. Farmer, fresh from the bench, steps free. Here is Farmer trying to drive towards the middle. Hooked off it there, and it escapes towards the corner. Bolio left it behind here. Played softly up the wall, out into the neutral zone. Skating onto this one. Here's Carroll. Carroll punched away there by Shane Kosmeski. Kosmeski softly up ahead along the left wing side. Plays to the middle of the ice. Falconer couldn't get a stick and direct this one in deep. Last minute interception there by Kosmeski prevents a breakaway, but here's Carroll. Drop pass. Andrin shot. Blocked in front. Loose towards the front of the net there, and alert on the back door was Shane Kosmeski. Oh, big crunching hit. Slap shot fought off by Zevnik and going wide. Kosmeski was drilled. Steen holds towards the net again, and a glove save by Zevnik as the intensity is starting to ramp up. 5:16 remaining in the second. The Wildcats trailing 3-2. They've given up 2 unanswered in the second period, 3 unanswered overall, after Matt Cook and Jake Townsend had staked them to a 2-0 lead in the first 5.5 of the first. On 5 we skate. Face-off upcoming to the left of Zevnik. Stopped to take the draw, going against Ludwig Larson. Oh, it was going to be Larson, then Larson got waved out. So Vidmar will step in. One back, here's Larson shooting hole, it's blocked. And down the ice it trampolines. Subri hustling after this one. Johan Steen back in his own zone as Subri peels off on the forecheck. Interesting here that we're seeing Staub, Oakley, and Subri out there right now. Bomb couldn't get to this one. Puck loose, they score! Oh, what a brutal play at the blue line. It trampolined back into the neutral zone. Bomb left flat-footed, waving at it at the blue line. Capitalizing was Ludwig Larson, and it's 4-2. You have to play with your head on a swivel against the Brahmas. Bomb got caught flat-footed there. Larson beat him on the weak side, and it's 4-2. Wildcats, needing to catch their breath, are going to take a timeout. Wildcats, and I think we're going to see potentially a goaltending change here. Zevnik is still in the cage to my right. Shaw is out limbering up, however. You know, I have to say, on David Zevnik's behalf, he's been left out to dry on 2 of the 4 goals he's allowed, but we are going to see a goaltending change, and Austin Shaw will take over. No chance for Zevnik on that last one. No chance for Zevnik on the one to make it 2-2. Wildcats fall asleep at the blue line a few times, and all of a sudden they trail. Shaw replaces Zevnik for the second game in a row. Shaw's numbers on the year, he's 16-6-0 with a .272 goals against and a .906 save percentage. Shaw was a hard luck loser last Friday. He made 4 saves on 5 shots faced. Unfortunately, the 1 goal he gave up proved to be the game winner, which made him the hard luck loser. So back to play here. The Wildcats having to dig out from a 2-0 hole, which is not something that too many teams, if any, have done against the Brahmas this year, as this one is floating down the ice. Giles the first back to it here, as Lazarus is in on the forecheck. Down the ice here, Uchin will be first to it. Uchin looks to drop pass towards the front of the net. Shaw got a stick in the way here as Staub on the back check has it behind the cage. And we'll get a whistle as the net is off its moorings, and Shaw is immediately unhappy with Greco. It's been about half the Wildcats bench that have had something to say to the referee. Josh Greco this evening, but fact of the matter remains that he has not really played a big impact in this contest, as you wouldn't expect a referee to. Face-off will be to the left of Shaw, as the Brahmas are now out shooting the Wildcats 22-19 after the Cats had posted 15 shots on goal in the first. They have only posted 4 here in the second. Ball rab up to the blue line. Sanderson shot, glove save, and it's fought off by Shaw. First to it is Cam Knight on the near side. Bumped along as Bolio left it there for Apap. Apap's pass trying to hit Yeager. Skipped over his stick as Apap goes in there to duel with Sanderson. Yeager plays it behind the net, hoping for someone to pursue, and the Wildcats do, as Matt Cook and Bolio combine to hold the zone. Flipped high up, but goes out of play. As we'll see where they put the face-off. It'll be in the neutral zone. 4:08 remaining in the second period. Wildcats have had their 2-0 lead turned on its ear. They now trail 4-2. As I mentioned, the Wildcats got out-adjusted in that first intermission. 12-4 are the shots on goal in favor of the Brahmas. The Wildcats are running around a little bit right now and look just a little bit confused where their 2-0 lead went. Let's see if they can bounce back and get back into the offensive flow of things. We certainly know they've got goals in them. They lead the league with 4.18 goals per game, but they're going against a Brahmas squad that is only allowing 2.05 goals per game. That's good for second in the North American Hockey League. Face off to the right of Black. It squirts free, and it's picked up by Oscar Andrin. Floated forward, here's Vidmar. Unable to bring it down, so he'll pursue into the corner. Here's Azanaro. Azanaro walls him off it. Loose puck is still controlled by Lone Star, as now finally stepping free, it's Apap for Bolio. His cross-ice pass reaches Yeager. Yeager tries to go quickly back along for Bolio, but he put it right on the tape of Andrin. Andrin in his own zone, left it along for Steen, who worked it along to Solovyev. Here's Solovyev, his pass up to Vidmar here. Vidmar overskates it, and it's chopped free as Bolio tries to race it along for Farmer to step to. Instead, it's on the stick of Solovyev. Solovyev along to Larson, who's on a hat trick. Larson shrugs off Bolio. Pass towards the middle of the ice. Solovyev holding shot off the bar, and picking up the loose puck is Yeager. Clears, but not out, and able to escape the zone was Austin Bolio. Wanting it is Oscar Andrin. Instead, the pass is along to Hogan Davidson. Davidson holding shot in a glove save. Juggled and held by Shaw. 3:12 remaining in the second. The Wildcats desperately wanted to get to the locker room and get this second period behind them. They've given up 4 unanswered, 3 in this second period, 2 on the power play, and they trail 4-2 after taking a 2-0 lead in the first 5+ of the contest. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Farmer will take the face-off against Davidson to the right of Shaw, as this one is jammed for as Farmer plays this one off the glass. Down the ice it skitters. Hansen back in front of the Wildcats bench area will take this and turn up ice. Steen, the options available to him, so we'll play it back below the goal line where it's taken by Giles. Giles looking to set up the breakout as we've seen some shuffling of the D pairings here. Stepping forward, here's Carreras holding shot, saved there by Shaw, and we'll get the whistle. Carreras haven't called his number too much tonight, especially not in the second period. Had worked himself to space, stepped down the wall, but Shaw was equal to the task. 2:45 remaining in the second period. 4-2 the score in favor of the Brahmas. Reminder, stick around in the second intermission as we'll revisit the Wildcats' most recent game, and we'll also take a look at what's going on around the North American Hockey League. Jerry Sporting Goods out-of-town scoreboard report. Off the Wildcats winning control. It's Oakley slamming on the brakes behind the cage of Shaw. Oakley has had a fairly solid game tonight. Slashed there. How does Greco not see that? His stick was slashed out of his hands. Oh, goodness. We play on. It should have been a power play upcoming for the Wildcats, but Greco looked dead at a slash and moved on. Subri over the red line, plays this one in deep. Oakley recorralled his stick and goes in on the forecheck. Sanderson, it's moved along here, held by the Wildcats in possession. It's loose in the neutral zone. As working it along, here's Vanderbeck. Knight has to chase back. He'll be the first to it here and bump it along for Matt Cook. Cook let it run for Nikita Litviak, who moved it along for Cook. Cook's pass cross ice, goes out of play there. Glove down on the bench by Albrecht. 2:02 remaining in the second. 4-2 in the score in favor of the Brahmas, and I am just bewildered at that call that was not made by Greco a moment ago. Oakley coming out of his own zone had the stick slashed clean out of his hand. Greco stared right at him, shook his head, and continued to skate up the ice. Interesting non-call to say the least, and we'll move on from there. Face-off, Staub can't hook this one along to a teammate. Steen settles and moves it along to be played by Andren. Andren rolls it around the boards to the near side. It works. Albrecht left it there. Staub can't jab it free. Lazarus steps onto a loose puck just inside his own blue line. Lazarus plays this one softly forward and goes in after it behind the net. Lazarus walled off it there, playing towards the front. Staub and Albrecht, neither could get a stick. A minute 30 remaining in the second as rushing forward. Here are the Brahmas. Over the blue line comes Larson on a hat trick, and it's forced away from him as Townsend is rolled into the wall. Loose puck, trying to work it free are the Brahmas. It's loose below the goal line as it's swung loose off the skate of Kuzmeski. Vidmar in Gretzky's office, played in front there to the blue line. It comes for Steen, holds on a shot. Now it's Larson. Forced to his backhand, hooked it back to the point. Soloviev, slapper and a glove save by Shaw, and will get the whistle. A minute 14 remaining in the second period. The Wildcats are leading or trailing 4-2 after they had opened up a 2-0 lead in the second. 0 for 1 on the power play are the Cats, 0 for 2 on the PK are the Wildcats, and just as it was last Friday, the penalty kill right now, the difference in this game. Off to the right of Shaw. Apap will take it against Hogan Davidson. Warned off encroachment are Yeager and Hansen on the far side. Hansen will back off to the blue line as faceoff is won here by the Wildcats, as going into the corner was Yeager. He swept it softly back behind the net. It works its way to the near side defensive corner for Cam Knight. Flubbed his breakout pass as Bolio was able to work it ahead. His pass for Apap was behind him, and the Wildcats in the last minute of the period have to chase back into their own zone. Shaw, behind his own net, worked it up the wall. Bolio left it for Apap. Apap trying to work it free. Carreras sealed him off it. Loose puck as Yeager is in his own zone and works it back along for Cam Knight. Knight, softly for Matt Cook. Cook has some trouble with it here, steps past some pressure. Dispossessed here are the Wildcats, is stepping forward. Here's Walrab. Walrab at the right wing wall, pass to the point. Giles shot save there. No traffic in front. Shaw made the save easily enough. As Apap and Davidson are separated, Giles takes a little hack at Bolio, who returns the favor. Now a crowd gathers around Bolio. 35.2 seconds remaining in the second, as the Cats will have a defensive zone faceoff, and Greco, a little late to realize what's going on here, finally gets involved. Glad you could join us here on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Ben Horner with you as Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing continues, with the Cats still trailing by 2. No penalties out of that little scrum. Wouldn't expect any, as if you call out of that, it's going to get out of hand quick in terms of penalty minutes, as this is won by the Wildcats. Reisinger is able to force this down the wall, and Farmer will step free. Here's Farmer, loading shot, goes up high and gets the glass. 25 seconds remaining. Townsend plays back below the goal line. The Wildcats will hustle after it here as Sanderson plays it away from Falconer. Here is Farmer, loose puck in front of the net. It's kicked away by Egan in the last 15. Here is Egan below the goal line. Trying to work it free was Farmer. Lifted the stick there. No penalty upcoming as Greco lets him play, as Walrab has it in his own zone in the last 5 seconds. Sanderson kills off the last 2, and that'll do it for the second period. Wildcats started the frame leading 2-1. Two power play goals against, and an even strength tally from Ludwig Larson, as the Wildcats trailing 4-2 and saw a goaltending change in the period for the second straight game. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll break it all down, as Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing will continue after this on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Tech Center in North Richland Hills. Wildcats led 2-0 in the early stages of this game. They now trail 4-2. 3 goals in that second frame, 2 from Ludwig Larson and 1 from Johan Steen. A pair of power play goals that came just as the penalties were set to expire. As the penalty kill woes continue for the Wildcats over their last few weeks, they are now 2 for 8 on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill over their last 2 games and now 2 periods. The one even strength tally in that second coming from Ludwig Larson. Run after Baum got lost at the blue line, didn't pick up the man behind him, and found himself swinging at a loose puck. Wasn't able to get any stick to it. That's where that problem came from, and that's what made it 4-2. That also chased David Zebnik and brought in Austin Shaw in a similar fashion of what we saw last Friday. Last Friday when Shaw came in, the Wildcats needing a 2-goal comeback. As we'll see if they're able to do that. But right now, let's revisit that game against and Colford together. Set for the action here, and the puck is down. We're underway in the first period, brought to you by American Classified. Now looking to play across along the blue line. He finds Knight, shot saved, rebound is loose, shot saved once more, coming from the stick of Subri. Now look out, racing the other way. Here's Liliev on a clean break. Liliev in all alone, and a bad save by Zebnik, and a penalty upcoming here. It'll be a slashing call, and Matt Cook will head over to the box. Back here for on it. Quick shot, save there. Might have not gotten blocked in front as it's bumped off the back wall and picked here by Lomzis. To the blue line and Michaud. Michaud along for Kuzin now at the left point. Top of the left circle. Michaud now into the middle of the zone. Michaud walking towards the left. Now we'll give it back towards the middle. Here's a slap shot. They score. Anthony Cortez on the power play. The penalty kill not able to do the job again. And the Wildcats trail for the first time this weekend. Didn't reach Reisinger, his intended target, as this is Kuzmeski fighting through the slash and sweeping it along. Lazarus couldn't reach towards the net, skittering around there, fought off by Zebnik nicely. Played towards the near side, on a toe save by Zebnik. Fuser towards the net, and it's stashed off the outside of the cage as the Wildcats are scrambling in their own zone right now. Cortez now fed back to the middle of the blue line. Here's Michaud holding on it, trades places with Kuzin there, directing traffic. Kuzin gives this one along to Cortez. Nice keep there by Cortez, finds Michaud now. Here's Michaud, drops it back. Here's Cortez, walks into one, back door. They score. It's Lomsness on the power play. Someone fell asleep on the weak side, and the Wildcats give up another power play goal. That is their 4th power play goal allowed on the weekend, and they trail 2-0. Now another quick shot, they score! Sherazin into the top corner, a 5-on-5 goal, and the Wildcats pull one back. It's 2-1 now. Sherazin gets his 20th of the year. He held on a shot, then let it go. I think that pump fake was just enough to get Pickard down in his butterfly and open up some space top shelf, and the Wildcats get the response they needed. We'll be back to 5-on-5 in the next 8 seconds. Softly along, here's Subri, drop pass, Sherazin, now it's Reisinger, shot, they score! Reisinger with 1 second remaining on the power play. The Cats have scored 2 unanswered. This one is tied up 2 apiece. Way up to the point, Jestro swept it along, here's Cortez, shot scores! I think Zebnik was screened, it might have been interfered with again. Too deep in his net was Zebnik, never got out above the blue paint. He's got to challenge that shot more, and Cortez gets his 2nd of the night. Falconer looked to sweep this one along for Jeff Baum. Now Baum below the goal line here. Moves it off for Kuzmeski. Kuzmeski's pass up ahead. Sherazin led through the middle of the ice. Falconer steps onto a broken play. Here is Falconer now. His shot blocked and caromed away here. Now look out, Azanaro. It's a 2-on-0. Here's Gioshvili in front for Breyer, and they score. It's a broken play. The Cats get burned on a change, not getting the puck deep. The Wildcats, they gift a transition chance to the Ice Rays, and Corpus Christi up to Cook there at the point. Will have to play this one in his own zone. That is too many men on the ice against the Ice Rays, plain as day. Wildcats bringing it in. Yeager, his centering feed there was canceled out by a sprawled out Carl, as the Ice Rays should have been whistled for too many men on the ice, but that was a generous call by the linesman. Either way, here is Yeager. Here is Cook now. Blue line holding shot, save wide of the cage. Bank attempt. Farmer scores! It was tucked out in front. Sherrison helped it along, and Farmer just skittered it 5-hole, and the Cats pull one back again. FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Put on a good push here for sure. They've been a little bit lucky at times, as this is a slap shot, save, rebound, they score. Shaw was tangled up as Baum did not clear out the man in front. And the 2-goal lead restored for the Ice Rays. Off the face-off, Wildcats will go in on the forecheck here. Stop. He's hooked off it. He'll look to stash it towards the corner. Boyo will chop it down and give the stop. Late to the middle of the blue line. Here is Knight. Shot wide. They score! Deflected in front, maybe by APAP. The Wildcats have pulled one back. 16-11 left to go in the third period. Knight faked the slapper, then fed it towards the net. Might have fluttered in on its own, might have bumped off the body of APAP. Either way, the Wildcats are within one. Quick shot saved there, fought up, rebound, and it's sent wide of the cage. They'll jam for it down low. That was Staub with the chance. Up to the blue line. Azanaro swept along here for Townsend, who holds. Shot towards the net, punch down in front, rebound is still loose, they'll jam for it, it's a scrum, and it's picked up here by the Ice Rays and cleared down. Wide of the cage, Sherrison, far side half wall, Sherrison left down below the goal line there, this is Colford intercepting and sending it the length of the ice. 15 seconds, this will come up short of icing. The Wildcats have to move this one quick. 10 seconds remaining. Knight being too slow in his own zone along to the near side. Farmer jabs forward, can't find the handle. Fed along for Staub. 3 seconds remaining. Staub can't get a shot away, and there goes the horn. Ice Rays take this one 5-4. The Wildcats launched a pretty solid comeback attempt, but at the end of the day, an 0 for 2 mark on the penalty kill is going to spell their doom. Mark on the penalty kill here thus far for the Wildcats through 2 periods of play, and thus far it looks like that might spell their doom, although it should be said that that second period was all Brahmas all the time. 16-4 were the shots on goal in that middle frame. The Wildcats are going to have to do a better job at breaking up the clogged neutral zone from the Brahmas. They look to rush forward. The Wildcats did not get through the neutral zone and into the offensive zone in the same way that they were able to first period. And in the first period, the Wildcats were much stronger on the wall than we saw in that second period, as I'm not sure if that's Brahmas not being all that strong in the first and playing better in the second along the wall, or whether it's some combination of the two. But either way, the Wildcats were getting success because they were winning the puck along the boards, working it to the blue line and getting it on net. They were not able to do that at all in the second period, and as a result, they trail 4-2. Take a look at what else is going on around the South Division and around the North American Hockey League. It's the Jerry Sporting Goods out-of-town scoreboard. It has gone final in the early games, the East Coast time games. In Michigan, in Flint, Keystone takes a 5-3 win over the Warriors. Janesville posts a solid 6-1 win over the Sioux Eagles. In Austin, Minnesota, it is 3-3. They head to overtime between the Bruins and the Minnesota Magicians. 5-3, Johnstown leading the Junior Blues in a crucial series between teams number 4 and 5 in the North Division playoff picture. In Brookings, 2-2, the Taros are tied with the Blizzard. They have about halfway left to go in the third period there. In Bismarck, it's 4-1, Bobcats over the Aberdeen Wings. They're in the third period there, past the halfway mark. About 7:39 left to go, as Bismarck is 7-3-0 in their last 10 games. 5-0-1 mark against the on tonight. Cooley Region is in Fairbanks to take on the Ice Dogs after Fairbanks posted a win last night over the same Cooley Region show. Kenai River and Wenatchee in the second of 3 games for them on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday set. That'll get underway at 9:30 Central Time, 7:30, I should say 10:30 Central Time, 7:30 Alaska Time. Around the South Division, it is 5-3. Odessa trailing the Ice Rays as time ticks away down in Odessa at the Ector County Coliseum. And it is now 5-1. Rio Grande Valley leading the Amarillo Bulls. Wow, all over Amarillo are the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees in a battle for the sixth and final playoff spot in the South Division. 5 unanswered for the Killer Bees in that one, including a little bit of a backbreaker there at the end of the second period to make it 3-0 at 19:55 of the second by Kevin Clare. Anyway, that's where things stand elsewhere around the North American Hockey League. We'll keep you updated on those as they finalize. But we'll step aside and come back here as the action at hand has yet to run its course. The Wildcats need 20 minutes, and they need a good, strong effort to come away with some points in this one. They trail 4-2 after a second period that was all Brahmas. We'll step aside and come back. When we do, we'll have the third period of action right here on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network as Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing Are back at the NITEX Center in North Richland Hills. The Wildcats trailing 4-2 as they come back out into the ice needing a comeback against a team that has not given up a comeback yet in this season when leading after two, at least not in regulation. 4-2 the score in favor of the Brahmas. TJ Black is in the net to our right. Austin Shaw, who relieved David Zevnik in the second, is in the net to our left. Cats get Q to P across your screen. We'll start the period 5-on-5. Cats can get back to what made them successful in the first. Pull the puck off the wall, win the board battle, get it up to the blue line and get it on net. That's how they got their 2 goals. Since then, it's been pretty much nothing doing on the offensive side of things. They were outshot 16-4 in that second period after posting 15 in the first. Gut check time for the Wildcats as we're underway in this period, brought to you by American Classified, as Wichita Falls looks to work this one up the wall. Here is Jeff Baum. Settling here in the neutral zone was APAP. He'll roll it forward as Bolio, with a fresh sheet to work with, moves it in front. Hacked along there by Staub as we see 18, 11, and 9 back together for the first time in a while as Kosmeski towards the net. Puck is loose there, and it's steered aside by TJ Black. Staub, strong on his skates in the corner there. Still strong is Staub, and he'll send it back below the goal line for APAP. APAP protects behind the net there, has it taken away from him on a legal play by Giles as Hansen will walk it forward for Lone Star. To the red line he'll get and play this one in deep as Shaw will leave it there. Both teams are changing up as we played 45 seconds in this third period in North Richland Hills. From center ice, Staub sends this one in deep. Wildcats will finish up their change. Back behind his own net in no hurry to get things going is Johan Steen as the Brahmas likely will just sit back and bite the pressure and then try the counter-attacking plays. Here's Farmer hustling onto a loose puck there. Chopped away from him as we see Oakley, Farmer, and Falcon are out there for the time being instead of Max Reisinger. Puck is loose, walked forward by Larson. He'll put it on his backhand and throw it in deep. First to it here, Larson tied up, puck loose at the side of the net, and Farmer swats it to the corner before skating onto it here. Turned it over to Larson, touched it along for Andren. Andren can't pull the trigger in the slot as Knight dispossesses him and skates forward. Here is Knight, chipped it along for Oakley, who throws it in deep and comes to the bench for a change. In the first to it here. Albrecht fresh from the bench in on a forecheck. He's out there with Yeager and Lazarus. This all the way down the ice. No icing here as Townsend picks it up in his own zone. Rolled forward here for Lazarus. Now it's Albrecht right wing wall. Albrecht lost it there. Looks to take it towards the corner. Lazarus gets involved as Yeager skates down below the goal line to the point. Townsend, one-timer kicked away there by TJ Black. Here's Azanaro. Azanaro down low along the wall. It's played back along as coming along down the right wing side. It's Townsend. Townsend at the right wing wall, tied up here just outside the faceoff circle as Lazarus tries to dig it free. It squirts loose below the goal line. It goes. Wildcats getting the forecheck going here, but on a second attempt, Lone Star picks this one up as Walreb walks it along. Yeager got it in the neutral zone, fed it along to the near side. Townsend wires this one around the boards. Yeager first to it here on the forecheck, but attacked away from him by Alex Carl. Loose puck, picked up here by Egan. At the red line, he'll play this into the opposite corner and come to the bench for a change as Townsend turned it over. Here's Carroll, tied up along the wall there by Litviak, and he'll stash it to the corner. Townsend swept it along the boards. Reisinger wasn't able to reach that one here as Baum is out there with Townsend, as this is Nikita Litviak dancing past Hogan Davidson. Litviak gains the zone, takes it wide towards the net. Behind the cage, it skitters. Reisinger looking to free a bouncing puck down below the goal line as Giles will bump this one back along to be played by Hansen. Here is Hansen spinning away. Litviak in on the forecheck, has it on his stick in the corner. Litviak, can he work it up the wall? He'll spin back down below the goal line once more. Litviak, here's Reisinger in the slot. Shot fought out there by Black. Follow up by Kosmeski, and Black was able to turn it aside from an acute angle. Great A look there in the slot there from Reisinger, but getting a piece of it by Black, or getting a piece of it was Black. Not sure how much he knew of that. Here's Reisinger holding, left it for Litviak. Litviak in the corner now will walk behind the net. Litviak left it there, looked to play towards the front of the net. Reisinger couldn't get onto the loose puck. Kosmeski keeps this one from going the length of the ice, now turns up ahead. Onside play as Kosmeski gallops forward. Here's Kosmeski on his backhand shot. Short side there, fought off by TJ Black. To the corner it goes. Staub up the wall. Here's Bolio's shot deflected around there. Staub shot saved by Black as Staub was canceled out from behind by Hansen, and he wasn't able to get all of it and put it upstairs. 26:07 remaining in the third. A good start to this third for the Wildcats, but they still trail 4-2. They're going to need more of that kind of effort next 16 minutes and 7 seconds if they're going to get back into this contest. Off to Black's left here in the Wildcats offensive zone. APAP out there with Staub and Bolio. Face-off, Steen will battle for it. Cook holds it along on the near side wall. On a second attempt, he swats it down, but it works its way into the neutral zone. Swatted in deep there on the fly by Matt Cook. In the neutral zone, Vanderbeck went down to the ice. We play on, as no wrongdoing there, according to the referee. Behind his own net is Johan Steen. APAP in on the forecheck here as those two play cat and mouse. Now Steen will take it out the other side and skates forward. Pass up the ice. Did Uchin get a stick to it here? No, he did not. So that will get an icing. 15:35 remaining in the third. 4-2 is the score in favor of the Brahmas. The Wildcats have posted a few shots on goal in this third and have gotten a few decent looks. TJ Black, who had a lot of time to recompose himself in that second period, first few efforts aside. Wildcats, when trailing after 2 on the year, are just 6, 10-0. Lone Star, when leading after 2, 20-0-2. Wildcats with a lot of history to overturn here. A lot of trends, I should say. Down the ice by Lone Star. It should go for icing and will, as Cam Knight is the first back to it. That sees all of 8 seconds tick off the clock as Roman Uchin gets a little talking to from Dan Wildfong along the bench. 15:27 remaining in the third as the faceoff will be to the right of TJ Black. Farmer out there with Oakley on his right, and Alex Falconer, Jake Townsend and Matt Cook are the defensive pairing right now. Here's Steen, wrapped it around the boards, but Cook holds it in. Into the corner where it's Farmer. Farmer, here's Townsend in space, loading shot, save, rebound, scores! Farmer on the back door, sweeps home the rebound. The Wildcats are within one, 15:16 remaining in this third period. They got the puck up to the blue line. Townsend got it on net. Black made the save, but Farmer swats home the rebound. That is point number 38 on the year on goal. Number 17 for Farmer. So the Wildcats now have life. 15:16 remaining in this third. It's a one-goal game once more as they try to get the comeback going. As an arrow, banked it forward. Here's APAP. Has some trouble with it here on the near side, just above the hash marks as this one steps free to be skated onto by Vidmar. Vidmar will take it wide. Forced off it there by Staub. Here's Andren in the slot. Shot saved by Shaw. The rebound over skated. Now it's Bolio looking to start it forward. His pass onto the stick of Staub skittered off the toe of his blade, so he wasn't able to cut in on net. Staub rolled off it there behind the cage by Sanderson as it works free to Vidmar on the far side. He worked it to Andren. Andren waiting for reinforcements. Here's Carl walking through, kicked away there by Jeff Baum, and Staub picks up the loose puck in his own zone. Staub swoops behind the cage of Shaw, starts forward, left it along there for Azanero, and now Baum on the pass will play this one in deep. First to it here are the Brahmas in the form of Egan. Here's Lazarus, shot blocked in front. Puck is loose there, and Yeager couldn't find the loose puck before it was swatted to the corner. Cleared past Kuzmeski. Putting him under pressure was Egan. Kuzmeski skates through the check there, drops it back for Baum to take behind the cage of Shaw. Pass into the middle of the ice. Albrecht turned it over and then looks to get it right back here as Carroll has some trouble with it and plays it back along into the neutral zone. And now at his own blue line, it's Baum. Baum up the ice, it's Albrecht now. Albrecht swoops off to the left wing side. Albrecht now through the middle. He'll gain the zone. Here's Albrecht, loading shot blocked there. He'll pick up the rebound and go to the corner. Puck is sitting loose. Yeager had it chipped away from him. Yeager settles off the outside of the cage there. They'll scram for it below the goal line. It squirts its way loose. Albrecht plays it into the corner for Lazarus. Lazarus left there for Albrecht, who plays it down the wall as Yeager will get involved with Hansen. Yeager bumped along there as Giles ties him up. Yeager working his stick free, hauled down to the ice, but he found a pass to Albrecht. Here's Albrecht on the near side wall. Bumped down to his knees. He'll play on as we have 13:15 remaining in the third. Wildcats have a good offensive shift going here as they work the cycle well in the offensive zone. Stepping free here are the Brahmas, and they clear this down the ice. It'll come up short of icing. Shaw out of his cage quickly moves it along for Cam Knight as the Wildcats are in the midst of a change. Knight back in his own zone, along for Litviak. Jabbed along for Subri. Now it's Matt Cook. Softly ahead for Reisinger. Reisinger onside, looking for Litviak. Intercepted there, and Cam Knight has to take in his own zone. Cook nicely back to Cam Knight through the middle of the ice, hoping for Reisinger. Too far for Max to reach, as this is Romanuchin playing it softly along. Cook has some trouble with it, but it's floated off to the near side. Solovyev going after it there with Litviak. A couple of big bodies collide in front of the cage of Black. Solovyev getting forechecked here by Subri. Held in. Here's Reisinger. Now it's Subri. Back for Litviak. Neither could pull the trigger, and it's knocked away to the far side wall. Held in here momentarily, but now trying to step forward are the Brahmas. Instead, it's Subri. He'll one-hand this one along, as picking this one up is Reisinger. Forward for Litviak. Litviak looking to hook it along. Litviak shot fought off there by Black. Had Subri to his right, didn't use him. Up the wall it goes on the far side. Romanuchin picks this one up, plays it past Matt Cook, going in after it. Here's a quick shot steered wide there off the stick of Hogan Davidson by Austin Shaw. Litviak wasn't able to get the loose puck, fed towards the middle. Puck is still loose. Reisinger swats it along to a teammate, Litviak. Litviak almost turned it over as Matt Cook has to play it in his own zone. Softly behind the cage for Cam Knight. They're buzzing here are the Wildcats. Can they get something started forward? They trail 4-3 in the last 11:30. Cook gaining the zone. Cook steps onto the loose puck in front there, and the net is off its moorings as the referee doesn't see it. And finally, it's the linesman, Schacht, from the blue line who notices, my goodness, what is Greco looking at there? It's off its moorings for a solid 6 seconds. Greco never even noticed. 11:28 remaining in the third. The Cats won't really mind it. They get an offensive zone draw out of this as they have pulled within one thanks to Nick Farmer's tally from Townsend and Cook. Shots on goal in the contest are now even up at 28 apiece. 9-1 in favor of the Wildcats in this third period. Nick Farmer has scored goal number 17 on the year. Give the Wildcats some life in a 4-3 contest. Getting the assists were Jake Townsend and Matt Cook. So that's a goal and an assist apiece for Cook and Townsend. As the Blue Liners, the veteran Blue Liners, as you might expect, getting things done for the Wildcats in a series that is about as crucial as you're going to get before you get into March. If you think this one is important, just wait till that last series of the regular season. Wildcats will be here in North Richland Hills on March 27th and 28th to close out the regular season. This one is going to be a battle. That one is going to be an all-out war. Face-off coming to the left of Black. We're back to play here after the Brahmas took their timeout. Both teams have now used theirs. 11:28 remaining in the third. As APAP will take the draw going against Ludwig Larson. Off two Blacks left here. Schacht waiting to drop the puck. Face off, one to the wall. Townsend walks towards the middle, instead plays it towards the goal line. APAP here, tries to kick it to himself. It's taken away from him as looking to motor forward. Here is Vidmar. Rather, this is Andrin. Andrin will play this one in deep. First to it behind the goal line. It's Vidmar. Vidmar, as he stepped inside, played towards the middle. Puck is loose. Turnaround shot. Fought off by Shaw. Where's the loose puck? It's swatted away from danger as APAP rolled it along for Staub. Staub chipped it past Sanderson. Too far for everybody else as Carl is the first to it here for Lone Star in their defensive zone. Vidmar almost turned it over, but Sanderson skates along with it as Andrin moves it along for Larson. Larson wide of the cage of Shaw. As an arrow, first to it there, but the Brahmas take possession in the form of Vidmar. Vidmar, as a two-side battle will ensue along the far side half wall with 10:35 remaining in this period. Giles wants it, gets it, top of the left circle, holds on it as he's forced to play it below the goal line on a nice play by Colin Staub. Staub has some trouble with it here. Loses out as Giles works him over along the near side half wall. Townsend and Vidmar get involved as Farmer floats around there waiting for the loose puck. It squirts free and is taken here by Townsend as Townsend looks to start ahead. We are halfway through this third period. Townsend got to the red line. No icing here as Black will play this one along as the Wildcats will start up the change. Here is Walrab. Walrab plays it off the wall and goes in after it as Egan does the same. Egan below the goal line there trying to step free from Baum. Up to the point where it's Hansen. Hansen back along the wall here. His shot blocked there after that came off the stick of Egan. Kosmeski walks this one forward. It was intercepted, but now Farmer has it on his blade. Here is Farmer to the red line, plays this one towards Black. Rebound is loose. Kosmeski shot. Rebound, it's still loose, and Kosmeski on a short side angle wasn't able to pop it in front. Oakley on the far side, left behind there as Giles canceled him out, but Oakley fights free, worked it up to the point for Farmer. Farmer, that one ramps up off the boards and goes out of play. 9:32 remaining in the third period. Wildcats are trailing 4-3 as we enter a media timeout here in North Richland Hills. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. If you're just joining us, it's been goals from the blue line that got things going, as two from the Wildcats made it 2-0 in the first 5:27 of the first from Townsend and Cook getting the goals, but then 4 unanswered and from the latter stages of the first through the second period gave the Brahmas a 4-2 lead. 2 of those goals coming on the power play as they were set to expire. Nick Farmer scored at 4:44 of this third period from Townsend and Matt Cook. That is where we stand. TJ Black has faced 30 shots on goal, has turned aside 27 of those efforts. You're not going to see Black give up more than 2 goals very frequently. Wildcats have been getting the offense against a very stingy defensive team. They've been let down was a couple of broken plays at the end of power plays when they weren't able to clear in the last few seconds, and a broken play at the blue line. That made it 4-2 after Larson raced in. Either way, we're at 4-3 here as Albrecht chips it up towards the point. Cook left it there. Yeager skips this one past his man there. As on the far side, he'll tie up Wickline. Lazarus tries to go up the wall for Albrecht. Instead, it was intercepted as Steen is put under pressure here by Albrecht. Albrecht has to be careful. He's already taken 1 offensive zone penalty here as Cook swats this one away. In the neutral zone, Knight chips this back into his own defensive end and goes back and will set up in the last 9 minutes and 4 seconds of this third period. Albrecht left it behind here. Cam Knight has it in front of the Wildcats penalty boxes as this is played in deep by Vanderbeck. Matt Cook, the first to it here for Wichita Falls. He'll pick it up, skates around Kessel, left the puck behind as skating in. Here's Hogan Davidson. Davidson looks to play towards the front of the net. Now goes to the front after he left it behind there for Kessel. 8:43 remaining in this third. Two-a-side battle develops as now it squirts free, and Matt Cook chips this one along for Lazarus. Lazarus cross ice for Albrecht. Albrecht lays it into space for Yeager to skate onto. Yeager, his backhand effort wide of the cage as the Wildcats were in the midst of a change. Lazarus will now come to the bench for a change. Loose puck as diving forward to force this one in deep was Davidson. As an arrow along for Vidmar, one-timer at the top of the circle, and he fanned on it as this one is swatted away from a on-rushing Paul Subri. Wildcats are able to gain the zone, however, only momentarily, as on a second attempt, Litviak gains his own, fed forward. Here's Reisinger, loading shot! Oh, he hit the bar! Litviak over skates, Reisinger slammed it off the post. Here is Subri, now below the goal line into the corner. It's Litviak. Litviak forcing it past Carl. Puck is still loose below the goal line. Litviak looks to hook it towards the middle. Reisinger wasn't able to get there. Now it's Subri, hooked up to the blue line. Here's an arrow shot, save, rebound is loose. Puck is skittering along here as Andren tries to clear past Townsend. Townsend got in his way. This one flies up into the air and is gloved down by Vidmar. The Wildcats were that close from tying this game up as now the two teams have traded posts. Vidmar gets around Townsend, gets around as an arrow wraparound. Chance goes wide. Onto it here in his own zone is Apap. His pass off the back leg of Reisinger. Hansen plays this one into the glove of Shaw, who puts it back into play and keeps things moving. Townsend rolled it along. Bolio into the path of Apap. Apap curls to the near side wall and gets to the red line and plays in deep. No, he did not get to the red line here. Oh my goodness, Bolio beat that back, but the referee, Schacht, was very quick on his whistle. I thought Apap got to the red line. I also thought Bolio beat that back. Schacht, the linesman, and Anderson, the other linesman, disagreed. So the Cats have to deal with a defensive zone draw with 7:07 remaining in the third. 4-3, the Wildcats trail. They almost tied things up a moment ago when Reisinger fashioned a chance for himself in the slot, but rang it off the iron after he had beaten Black cleanly. Off is won here by the Wildcats. Good clean win as Bolio clears off the glass, but not all the way down. Egan held it in, but it works its way along for Townsend to take in his own end. He'll look to start this forward. Hard to the near side. Staub looks to get around Hansen here towards the net. Sticked away to the glass. Apap on the far side wall. Plays it towards the corner. Bolio ties his man up there and looks to dig it free. Apap getting involved as well. Cleared only as far as the blue line. Now it's skated forward by Egan. Egan over the offensive blue line. He'll fling this one in deep and go to the bench for a change as Cook hammers at this one. It works its way free. Cam Knight in the neutral zone now. Knight gallops his way forward onside. Here's Colin Staub. His shot fought off there. Rebound held by Cook at the left point. Along the blue line, here's Farmer towards the net. Blocked in front there and cannonballing away to the corner. Farmer, was he able to hold his own? Yes, he was, but he lost possession as Staub hooked this one back along in the neutral zone. Vanderbeck, as the Wildcats are in the midst of a change in the last 6:10 of the third period. Steen on his backhand, forced it along to Solovyev. Solovyev pass off a body in front, or at the blue line, I should say, of Vanderbeck, as this caroms away to the near side corner. In the defensive zone, Matt Cook will look to curl up the ice with it for the Wildcats. Wickline, the forechecker, hooked through some traffic as Farmer skates past one man. Farmer gains his own, drop past Falconer, left the puck behind, however. Now look out, could be numbers here for the Brahmas. Vanderbeck has Davidson in the middle. Vanderbeck forced wide there nicely by Kuzmeski. Kuzmeski looking to kick this one free are the Wildcats. It's Farmer at the red line. He'll play it wide to the cage of Black as Oakley hustles in after it there to put Sanderson under pressure. Sanderson, first to it here. Flung towards the middle of the ice. Carreras, now Baum, hooked it away from him as this is back for Sanderson to play along. 5:20 remaining in the third. 4-3, the Wildcats still trail, almost intercepted here by Yeager, but instead it's worked forward by Davidson. Behind the cage of Shaw, it's left. Baum walls his man off it there as Carreras came along, but Kuzmeski picked it up and swooped it for Lazarus. His pass to the middle of the ice. It got to Albrecht, who swept this one in deep. Black comes out of his cage to leave it there. Lazarus hooked towards the middle, not a Wildcat in front as Black had left his cage dangerously. Sanderson fighting off the forechecking Eric Yeager. This one cleared as it works its way into the neutral zone. Vidmar, Townsend tries to pick his pocket. Vidmar spun it along. Here's Larson, shot, scores! Hat trick for Larson. Vidmar held play up at the blue line, and the Wildcats are down by 2 again. No one picked up Larson. That's the second time tonight he's ghosted in uncontested. Who is marking that guy? Larson completes his hat trick. It's 5-3. Shaw got beaten 5-hole there. Look across the way here, and the stone-faced, angry looks on the Wildcats bench tell the story, but fact of the matter is the Brahmas controlled in the second period, and true to fashion, they sat back, absorbed pressure in this third, and then they were opportunistic. Their second shot, check that, their third shot of the period results in a goal. Not good enough. 4:46 remaining in the third. The Wildcats had cut it to 1. They had almost tied it up after Reisinger rang it off the iron. But now the Wildcats trail again as Larson completes his hat trick. So we're back to play here. Cam Knight worked it along for Matt Cook as Suber gains his own. His shot off a leg, caroming towards the front of the net, and Black will cover up. 4:34 remaining in the third. Wildcats trailing by 2 once more, and it looks like, the penalty kill is going to be the difference maker in this contest. The Wildcats 0 for 1 on the power play, 0 for 2 on the Gilmore's Collision Center penalty kill. Over their last almost 3 games on the PK are the Wildcats. Skittering out in front of the net there. This one is fed down the ice. Here's Egan, clean break all alone. Egan shot, scores. He beats Shaw past the right pad, and this is exactly exactly how the Brahmas beat you. They sit back, they absorb the pressure, they spring you, and they're opportunistic as heck. 2 shots, 2 goals, 6-3. Egan picking up goal number 8 on the year. The scoreline is 6-3. That doesn't tell the true story of this contest. It's a lot closer than that, but Wildcats are going to get burned as they fell into the Brahmas game plan in the second period. And in the third, it went true to form as it usually does. So back to it, the Wildcats needing something Herculean here as they try to lay out the string here. They'll have to get back to it for night 2, but this is not how they wanted to start off this weekend. Clipped forward here is Kessel sweeping it in deep as this is taken by Jake Townsend in his own zone. Townsend moved it along here. It's fished forward for Staub as Staub is tied up. Worked it for APAP. It was under his stick. Kessel sent it back in deep. Behind the goal line, it's picked up here by Azanero. Azanero along for APAP. Now it's Staub. Staub gets past Soloviev. Staub trying to win the race to the loose puck. Uchin there first as this is Uchin picking it up in his own zone. Spiked off the glass, skidder to the neutral zone as Shane Kosmeski has it and swoops it along for Farmer. Farmer, nice little skate here by Nick as he'll gain the zone and give to Staub. Here is Staub, toe drag in front, shot, and it rippled the outside of the cage here as Litviak gets tied up momentarily with Black. Wildcats aren't able to hold the zone as Colin Staub leaves it for Baum to start forward once more. Jeff Baum towards the net there. Oh, Black had it trapped under his blocker, almost skipped through, but they were able to clear down the ice. No icing here as they say Kosmeski got a touch. Headman pass, it's Litviak. Litviak spins off the check, starts forward here, and on his backhand, Litviak now has some trouble with it, turned it over to Larson. Litviak had 3 chances to pass that puck and didn't do it. Andren goes down, and no call upcoming as Farmer faces this one forward for Oakley. Here's Oakley, loading shot saved there by TJ Black, and we'll get the whistle. 4 remaining in the third. The Wildcats have put up 34 shots on goal on TJ Black, but after giving up goals on 2 of the first 8 that the Wildcats put on net, as Litviak coming together with Giles and Hansen on his way to the bench, it is 6-3. Wildcats trailing, 2:54 remaining in the third. And I guess maybe if they get one quick, they could still have a chance, but for all intents and purposes, they've had this one fall by the wayside inside the last 3 minutes. They'll point to the second period as their downfall. 3 goals in the second. Now 2 goals as insurance markers in the third. As the Brahmas in front 6-3. Off, it's behind the net. Hansen hammers this one around the boards where Walrab works it free. Yeager skates back to his own blue line to take this one in front of a forechecking Walrab, and they left it along for Cam Knight. Knight swooping forward. His pass for Matt Cook was too far for Matt to reach, so it's forced back along farther in the last 2:30 of this third. Here's Cam Knight. Knight slams on the brakes in his own zone, evades Carroll, and left it along for Matt Cook. Cook has had a very good game tonight. So has Jake Townsend. So has Colin Staub. So has Nick Farmer. The veterans stepping up for the Wildcats. They need the secondary scoring to get going a little bit more than it has over the last few weeks. Back behind the cage in the last 2:05 of the third, trying to milk off some more time. This is Giles. Giles with Reisinger camped out in front as we have seen 10 seconds tick away on this maneuver. This is well within the Brahmas game plan as they play cat and mouse. Albrecht gets involved as well, and finally the Brahmas will start this forward. Kessel, did he get a stick to it here? No, he did not, so that'll get the icing as an arrow is the first to touch up. 1:46 remaining in the third. We'll see if they bother pulling Austin Shaw, who is going to wind up. Looks like Zevnik will get saddled with the loss, at least assuming the Wildcats don't score one to make it 6-4. Either way, the faceoff will be to the left of Black. Albrecht, Lazarus, and Farmer out there for the Wildcats. Face off, they tie up in the circle. Farmer looks along for Lazarus at the wall. Townsend along the blue line. Here's Azanaro towards the net, sticked away there easily by Black. In the far side corner, they'll try and scrum for it. Hogan Davidson springs this one free, takes a good hard bump there from Farmer. A couple of former teammates come together and say, how you doing? As this one is in the neutral zone for Albrecht. Albrecht looks to cut through the middle of the ice, now takes it to the left wing wall. Skates behind Lazarus. Albrecht turns the corner, now hooks out in front there. Black got a stick in the way, and he'll cover up as now Giles and Lazarus come together. And a minute 16 remaining in the third. Now Davidson and Farmer coming together. Surprise, surprise, Hogan Davidson wants a piece of somebody. Albrecht drops the gloves, and we're going here. Albrecht is starting a big right by Albrecht. He's going against Kessel. Rights by Kessel, a big right by Kessel, and Albrecht goes down. Out of all of that, and now Lazarus is going off in the corner. Davidson, in classic Hogan fashion, doesn't drop the gloves. He does everything but. Kessel and Albrecht scrap in the last minute 16. They're both done for the game. Decent scrap, but we will give the win to Kessel on that one. Albrecht got a few quick blows in there with the right before Kessel got his right free and clocked Albrecht good on the chin a couple of times. All of this ensued after Lazarus and Giles got tangled up behind the net. Lazarus took exception to something Giles said, gave him a little face wash, and then Giles slammed him down into the corner. Lazarus wanted to go with Davidson, and for as much as we saw Hogan Davidson fight last year for the Wildcats, surprisingly Hogan decided he didn't want to drop the gloves. Minute 16 remaining in the third. The Brahmas living up to their pugnacious reputation as the Wildcats getting a little frustrated here. They're at the end of a 6-3 loss, or what we're assuming will be a 6-3 loss. I've seen stranger things happen, but just on the pattern of the game, it seems like this one has all but fallen by the wayside, as I mentioned a moment ago, for the Wildcats. We're in a delay here as they try to sort out all of these penalties. Lazarus could get 5 for fighting because he dropped the gloves. We'll see what they assess. Either way, the Wildcats, after pulling within 5-3, got undone by 2 goals in 21 seconds. First it was Larson. Vidmar skated along the blue line from left to right, held up the puck. People got caught puck watching as Larson ghosted into the zone unmarked and beat Shaw 5-hole, and then Pat Egan, just for good measure and a little salt in the wound for the Wildcats, made it 6-3. Off an effort just past the right toe of Austin Shaw on his 8th goal of the year. Another quiet guy tonight, a couple of quiet guys on the Wildcat side of things that they need to see get going. Austin Bolio looks like he's going to go to 8 games with just 1 seeing points over his last 8. APAP a little quiet tonight as well. Oakley very strong along the boards. He played well this evening. He's getting the explanation from Greco. Lazarus and Albrecht looked up for it at times, but really it was the old standbys that you expect. Farmer, Staub, Cook, and Townsend leading the way for the Wildcats. Zevnik started this game, was relieved in the middle of the second after allowing 4 goals on 22 shots faced. Shaw has fared only slightly better, 7 saves on 9 shots. So, it looks like the Wildcats are going to be on the power play out of this. They've got 2 on the board. Cross-checking to Giles. That's what set everything off. Kessel and Albrecht get 5 and 10 for fighting and then the misconduct. So the Wildcats will have their second power play of the evening here as Townsend got it along for Cam Knight. Knight to the middle of the ice, back door. Here's APAP's shot, ramps up high and goes to the far side wall. Bolio Knight will settle at the point. Bolio outside the circle. Look to go down low. Solovyev couldn't reach that one as Staub plays it behind the cage. First to it here for the Brahmas. It's moved along here by Solovyev. He'll glass it down. Inside the last minute of play in the period, brought to you by La Quinta Inns and Suites, as the Wildcats are going to limp home on a 6-3 loss to open this crucial two-game set. Knight had some trouble with it there. Staub was able to help out and recover. Spins off the forechecking Vanderbeck, but Vanderbeck comes away with the puck. Onside play, Knight gives him a little shoulder shot, separates him from the disc, and Townsend moves forward in the last 30. Here's Bolio, walks in onside at the left wing wall. Bolio forced towards the corner. Walled off hard there. Steen trying to work that puck loose. Bolio with it, spun it along. Here's Townsend in the high slot, holding, shot, goes high, goes up and gets the glass. Staub below the goal line for Bolio. Bolio back for Staub, shot off a stick in front and to the near side of Karams. 10 seconds remaining in the third. APAP below the goal line there. To the corner it goes in the last 5. Bolio, now it's Knight. Knight along for Townsend. Townsend wheels on his backhand save, and there's the horn. It was a night that started with great promise for the Wildcats. They opened up a 2-0 lead in the first 5.5. After that, they gave up 4 unanswered over the next period and a half. They got outshot 16-4 in that second frame, and despite returning the favor in the third on a 16-4 shots on goal margin and pulling one back from Nick Farmer, they're going to fall and lose this one 6-3. We'll step aside when we come back. We'll have the scoring summary for you here as we break it all down on night 1 of this 2-game set in North Richland Hills. We'll be back and put the wrap on this one just after this here on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Tech Center in North Richland Hills. Ben Horner with you, Cats fans, as we put the wrap on a 6-3 loss for Wichita Falls on a game that started out fairly well for the Wildcats, as Jake Townsend gave the Wildcats a 1-0 lead on a big blast from inside the blue line. His 9th of the year, a new career high for him to make it 1-0, just 3:13 into the game. Things got better for the Wildcats from there after just another 2.5 minutes or so. This time it was Matt Cook finding the goal from the blue line as he chased down a clearing attempt, walked down to the left circle, and ripped it inside the post to make it 2-0. From there, the Brahmas responded as you knew they would, and they responded a little bit better than the Wildcats could handle, as they picked up 1 goal to cut the lead to 2-1. Alex Carl found the back of the net from just inside the blue line at 14:54 of the first to make it a 2-1 scoreline heading into the second period. In the second, the Brahmas ramped things up and took control. 16-4 was the margin in terms of shots on goal, as Ludwig Larson scored on a power play just after a tripping minor to Austin Albrecht had expired. Unfortunately for the Cats, they looked like they were going to clear it all the way down. The clearing attempt hit someone in the skate, someone in a black sweater in the skate, I should say, caromed out in front, and Larson was Johnny on the spot, Ludwig on the spot, I should say, to pop it past Zevnik. Then 12 minutes later, Johan Steen picked up one for the Brahmas to give them their first lead of the game as the penalty was set to expire. It was a high sticking call for Reisinger that had him in the box as he sent a knuckling slap shot that dipped just as it got to David Zevnik, over the glove or under the glove over the pad to make it 3-2 and give the Brahmas a lead they would not relinquish. Still in the second period, about 2.5 minutes later, Ludwig Larson picked up a 5-on-5 tally, his second of the night. He would complete his hat trick in the third. Past a man unmarked at the Wildcats blue line. It was Jeff Baum who lost his bearings a little bit, and as he swept for the puck, was left wanting. As he came up empty, Larson skated in, popped one top shelf over Zevnik's left shoulder. That made it 4-2, and that chased David Zevnik. In the third, the Wildcats got exactly the effort and the start that they wanted. They outshot the Lone Stars 16-4 in the final frame as Nick Farmer pulled them within 4:44 into that third frame as he swept home a rebound from Jake Townsend's point blast. But as the Wildcats pushed forward and after Reisinger had slammed one off the iron, that could have made it 4-4 from the high slot. Max is going to be know he's going to have to make sure that he doesn't dwell on that one and stays in the moment. Either way, after that, Larson finished up his hat trick at 15:14 of the third, and then Pat Egan, for good measure, made it 6-3 at 15:35 of the third. Getting the loss tonight will be David Zevnik, so he gets the loss that he probably could and perhaps should have been saddled with last Friday when Shaw was a hard luck loser. Zevnik now 11-6-0. Getting the win tonight is TJ Black. He's 16-5-2. With the loss, the Wildcats are now 27-12-0. They're 24-11-0 in the South Division and are just 8-6-0 away from the K. Yeager Coliseum, not counting efforts at the North American Hockey League Showcase back in September in Blaine, Minnesota. With the win, the Brahmas are now 27-9-3. They are 21-1-1 as the home team at the NITEC Center. They are 21-0-1. The Brahmas also pick up some breathing room on the Wildcats. They are even on games played right now and are now 3 points ahead of the Wildcats, who sit in third for second place. Reminder, we'll be back here same time, same place tomorrow night, 7:15 on the pregame here on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network, as the Wildcats will look to bounce back from this one and salvage a split in this crucial two-game set here at the end of January. Until tomorrow evening, I'm Ben Horner saying thanks so much for joining us on this edition of Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing. For all of us at the Wildcats, have a good night, everybody.